All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to a new episode of the Anination Podcast. Yes, it has been a while since we did new episodes, so we've got a big, full analysis for this one.
Oh, yes. We're about to delve into one of the best shows on Nickelodeon and why we think it's great.
And you've all voted for it, so
yeah.
To be fair, I really wanted Gendy Chow or, a bunch of other cartoons like Hazbin Hotel to do another review, but to be fair, we already reviewed it already.
Yeah. Now, this cartoon we're talking about, it's in my top 3 picks. There are also a couple other ones I wanted to win as well. Arcane and Hazbin Hotel.
Arcane would have been a great thing to discuss right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering why hasn't it gone far? Yeah.
I don't know. Hazbin got a very low rating, but people didn't vote for it, so there's that.
Yeah, I was curious about that.
All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get things started. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to an all-new episode of the Anination Podcast. My name is Nate, and it's here on the side.
What is up, Anination World? I hope y'all are doing fantastic. And it's Happy May to each and every single one of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It is May all of a sudden. The year has been going by quickly, don't you think?
It really has. And especially, we're starting off May to a really great start. Between May the 4th day,
Did you celebrate Star Wars Day? Did you celebrate Star Wars Day somehow?
No, but I do acknowledge that it's an important holiday for Star Wars fans. Also, after that, Cinco de Mayo. I hope you all had a good Cinco de Mayo as well.
That's true. Yeah, Cinco de Mayo was, I don't know. I never really celebrated that much. I'm not, Mexican or anything like that, so.
I'm not Mexican either. I don't celebrate it, but again, I do acknowledge it's
I know it's Mexican Independence Day, and I know a lot of people really celebrate it out there. So, again, for those who celebrate it, hope you guys had a great Cinco de Mayo. Yeah.
Yes. To all our amigos and amigas, hope y'all had a good Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Well, last week we did a wrap-up episode of what's going to be happening in May. So I want to ask how's your week been?
My week has been relatively good. Of course, I did see Thunderbolts with my friend the previous Friday.
Same. Good.
Yeah, and Thunderbolts was definitely... It's definitely what I wanted from a recent MCU movie. I would say that this is one of the better post-Endgame MCU movies. It really is such a fun watch.
Because I know that the Avengers ended. The thing is, like, how are they going to catch up with, like, all the things that's going to be the next Avengers to say? Because all the movies that have been going on for the MCU have been, like, up and down, hit or misses. Mm-hmm. And now you're thinking, like, what's the next Avengers movie going to look like? And here you go.
Yeah, so with Thunderbolts, it was definitely quite a hit. And because each and every single character that needed character development got good amount of character development.
Well, here's the thing. Like, they only got introduced in the TV series and movies. So, like, Yelena and the Red...
the Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian, yeah. They both were introduced in Black Widow.
John Walker as well.
John Walker was in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Bucky, of course, he's been everywhere. What else is there? Ghost was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then you had Taskmaster, which unfortunately, again, spoilers, I don't want to say much, but Taskmaster is not really important, honestly.
Yeah, so like I said, all these characters that played supporting roles or could have gone as much character development as they should, this is their movie. This is their time to shine, and they really delivered.
They actually made a spoiler already out after the first weekend, right? So now it's called The New Avengers, which, it kind of sucks. If you haven't seen the movie, yes, it is a little bit of a spoiler, but it's not big, don't you think?
I'm going to say that they should have saved that marketing for at least 3 weeks later, because by then, the grand majority of MC fans would have already seen the movie.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, too. Like, people were kind of wondering about the asterisk that comes out of Thunderbolts, right?
That they were. So it's good that they added a little asterisk. That way, it get people questioning, oh, what do they mean by asterisk? Why are they included there?
Well, I mean, it's on the news now, guys. So everyone knows about the New Avengers, and Thunderbolts are the New Avengers. But now I'm kind of wondering, like, as the movies continue on for Marvel, what are the next things going to be for Marvel, considering, the Avengers is coming out next year.
And also Fantastic Four is coming out in about a month or two later. I'm really excited for that.
Oh, yeah, me too. Especially after that post-credit scene.
I will say that out of the 3 MCU movies that come out this year, I was most excited for Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was going to be huge, for sure.
because the trailer itself looked very retro. It looked very old school. It had its own style.
It is retro. It was like 60s or something.
Yeah, it had its own style, and the
It
reason
kind of reminds me of like Captain America, the first Avenger.
And the reason why it's kept in that style, it's because the Fantastic Four are Marvel's first family. They were the OG Marvel characters alongside Spider-Man and whatnot. So I liked how that trailer does emphasize that, hey, Fantastic Four was one of the first Marvel projects.
Mm-hmm. Considering to the other Fantastic Four movies that have been made by Marvel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
there's a bunch of other ones that hit or miss, to say.
Mostly miss, especially the most recent
Thank God they changed it up, because that Fantastic Four one sucked. This time around, Marvel Studios picked it up, and I'm like, we're gonna remake it, and thankfully they did a really good job with it. I'm liking Pedro Pascal's acting so far.
And this is why I'm excited for this one the most, because this is potentially the first time that Marvel gets Fantastic Four movie right.
I hope so. I mean, to be fair, like the first Fantastic Four movie was like back in the 2000s, so...
It was back in 2000s, and it was fun for what it was, but there are some parts that don't exactly age well, but it was fun for what it is.
Those don't actually age well because it was 2000s, yes. Now, once you see it again, it's like, nope, you can't watch it anymore.
It's like when you see a movie as a kid, you like don't think about it much, but then when you look into it, there's some things that could have been done better. It's one of those movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then after that, of course, about a couple days later on Sunday, me and a friend of ours, Robert, saw the Warriors and Rockets game at my local bar, and it was quite a thoroughly engaging game, but we managed to come out strong in the end.
Nice.
The Warriors won Game 7.
Warriors won Game 7, and then Tuesday they did win against the Timberwolves in the first round, and the first game of the second round. So congrats to them.
Yes.
Although Steph Curry, I heard, has been hurt, which is not a good sign.
It is not a good sign. So I don't know how far the Warriors will go in the playoffs without Steph, but I will say it is impressive how they won by a 20-point margin without Steph Curry being involved at all in the ball.
It should be a good sign, but again, we'll see. Maybe the Timberwolves might regroup and become better, but again, that's out of my hand. I don't know. My team is not in the playoffs. So I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to it's going to be Steve Kerr's hands, and most importantly, Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler have both been carrying the game. They both have shown that they don't need Curry's help. So that's what really impressed me about
Buddy Hield used to be a Sacramento King, by the way, so I'm just like, where have you been in our playoff run, huh?
Buddy. And then I recently got a job offer as a substitute teacher from this teaching agency. But I'm still doing the onboard tasks. Like, I just need to do fingerprinting. I got the
okay. That's a little TMI now. But you've got a job, TLDR.
But the point is that I don't know exactly how many hours I'm going to get after that. So it's more or less a job offer. I'm still looking for another job in which I can get sufficient amount of hours.
Does it pay more than the job that you had before?
It does. It does pay more than the job I had before, yeah.
Okay.
But still, though, I do hope to keep a sufficient amount of hours. That's the thing. Because I do plan to become a teacher in the future, and I feel like being a sub is going to be a good
start. It's a good start if you're going to be starting teaching.
It's a good first step.
Yeah, but the other thing too is that you're going to teach kids, so hopefully you know how to handle kids.
Yeah, I do plan on signing up to get teaching credentials. That's also another thing. So I'll definitely know the ins and outs.
Really changing your career choices in this case, right?
Yeah, because when it comes to looking for admin jobs, I've been getting rejection after rejection after rejection. I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I'm not meant for this, if the universe is saying to me I'm not meant for an admin job, what am I meant for then? Then teaching does come to mind, because I've been heavily influenced by teachers throughout my life, especially elementary school ones. So yeah.
So you're going to be an elementary school teacher, or are you looking into that range of elementary school?
I'm looking to that range. It's a multi-subject teaching credential I'm aiming for, so yeah.
Okay, nice.
I do hope that goes well. But enough about me. How about you?
Yeah, well, I would say last week was definitely terrible, I would say. I mean, I don't know I think I already told you pre-show and everything, but you've seen Wednesday, I was talking about how this girl right here has graduated, and pretty much got me all upset from that day. Literally the next day, literally the day after we did our recording of the podcast, I was working over at my job. And then literally like minutes after I clocked out, I got the word that I got let go. So I actually am in Omid's boat right now, not having a job, like trying to find a job right now.
Yeah, man, I'm really sorry that happened to you, and I do hope that you land on your feet soon.
It sucks because it's Meta's layoffs, and you've been hearing about the layoffs that have been going on around all of tech. So I'm a part of the tech sector, and I would always be on top of my feet, continuing to like do well, trying to help all this tech companies end up doing well, and then they started to cut me off, which is fine. I mean, I kind of dealt with it all last weekend, trying to get my finances out of the way. Thankfully, I was able to get my finances out of the way, but at the same time, I'm kind of like in a save money mode right now. Hopefully unemployment can help me out and all this kind of jazz. But yeah, it was so sudden. And I think the douchiest move that Meta did was let me go at the end of the day. Because like I worked a full day. You could have at least let me go the day of so that I can just like stop and just go straight for unemployment. But I worked the whole entire day. And then I did left stuff from like my personal stuff at my work. Thankfully, my coworker was able to like send my stuff off to me. One big issue is that what was it? The whole team, like my team ended up like getting cut. So it was like from a team of 10 to a team of 4. And it sucks because it's like we have only 4 people running that team. I'm pretty sure they're going to be integrated into another team, which would probably have them do new tasks here and there. That lab might be used for more people than others, and it's just like confusion right now what's happening. But I don't know if you heard the news, but like Reality Labs, which is what the sub company that I'm working with, Meta, laid off a lot of workers, and apparently I'm one of them. My friend also who worked started working last year, he got laid off in February, and now I'm on his boat too. So yeah, it's been tough. It sucks. But it's just look, I just got up late last week. I'm taking this as a vacation right now, maybe taking like a week or two just to get myself up and running, and then it's back to the grind again. I mean, I have nothing to do. I'm just mostly just getting my resume going, applying to jobs at the same time. I'm also just trying to catch up on things. So I'm watching anime, I'm watching, playing video games, trying to like catch up on things that I wasn't doing when I was busy,
Yeah, dude. Like I said, Meta did you dirty, man, because like you said, they laid you off. They made the announcement to you at a worst time.
It's like the worst time. It is a really bad time.
Because it's essentially their way of, this is their way of thanking you for all the hard work you did that day. Yeah, seriously, screw them.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And like, it stinks because like you come into work and you think you have a positive day and then you end up having a depressing day at the end.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, it didn't make no sense why they had to do that. And I kind of like am kind of getting done with that agency anyway that I'm with, because like making me think about it. Like, they're helping me out finding another job, which is great. But at the same time, I look in the back of my mind and I'm like, you did have dirty to me. So I kind of like say, okay, fine, screw that. Time for me to go to another agency or find another job. And I'm, again, assuming that I'm hoping that I don't get a contract job. I hope we go for a permanent job, which would be great because like I can get like all the benefits and all that jazz. So again, it's a lot to process, but look, it's been only 5 days since I got let go. So, I'm just taking it in slowly. But
yeah, like I'm gonna say this right now. Number one, my heart goes out to you, man. All my heart goes out to you. Another thing too is that if Meta really did you dirty like that, then it goes to show like you deserve to work at a better company. You deserve better.
Yeah, I don't know which companies are currently hiring. I don't want to go straight to like say go to a dead end. So I'm not gonna go to like a job that I think is I'm overqualified for, like a retail job or a food job. I'm just gonna go for like anything in tech because that has been my field and I'm gonna be sticking with it for now.
That's what I've been doing throughout my time of being laid off myself. I have been looking for office and admin jobs, but the problem is that
I'm thinking a lot of people are applying for that job.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that I've recently discovered that getting into an office or admin job is like the chances are pretty slim when you consider the job market. The job market's not good.
If you've seen how the tasks are for those kind of jobs, they are easy compared to like the challenging jobs that engineers go through.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, when it comes to the job market, there are some positions where it's really hard to get into. Hence why I brought up the fact of how, okay, I'm going to go for teaching instead.
Yeah, which is
Because teachers
great.
are always in demand, so I want to go for it.
Which is great. Yeah, I mean, if anything, you want to try to go for something that's new for you. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
When one door closes, the other opens. You
Yeah.
know?
So at the moment, right now, this week has just mostly been me sulking in with all the stuff, going through my finances, changing up my resume, and then what was it? Just applying for jobs again. No word back of them. Probably won't be coming back until like next week or weeks after, because they don't call you back instantly, honestly, right? Because you've been through this. I'm pretty sure they don't call you back instantly or anything.
Yeah, once you submit the application, it does take about, I guess, a week, 3 days to a week to contact you one way or another, whether it be email or phone number. And then 1 to 2 weeks later, after you send out the application, that's when EDD sends you the.
I didn't say unemployment.
Oh, so
I said whenever you apply for a job.
Whenever I Whenever you apply for a job. So whenever you apply for a job.
Like in your case, when you applied for a job, how long did it take for you to get a word back?
It usually takes about a week or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Week or two.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it does take. It really depends. It varies from job to job. Sometimes it takes a week. Other times it takes 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a month. Honestly.
Yeah. I know. But you know what? That's again, I don't want to sulk this episode just because I'm sad and all that jazz. So that's why I'm trying to get myself positive. What was it? I started playing more Fortnite. I don't know if you guys play Fortnite. The Star Wars season just came out for May the 4th, and it was fun, by the way. It's been great so far because like all the guns are all laser guns, and it's like unlimited ammo, so you're just pretty much firing all the time, which is pretty fun.
Which makes sense because it's Star Wars.
Yeah, and you have lightsabers out there too, doing all these like forces. You have electrical lightning coming out of your fingers, which is also pretty sick. So this season has been fun for Fortnite, and if you have played Fortnite, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. I've also been playing this new mobile game called Disney Solitaire. It's fun. It's like a solitaire game. It's interesting because it's like it's like solitaire where you like go from ace to king, and then all you have to do is just pick those cards. But it's like puzzles and stuff. Why it's Disney-fied is because it can unlock like scenes from Disney moments. So like they had like all the Disney classic movies like Snow White, Little Mermaid. They had Lilo and Stitch. There are a lot of them too. And I also saw in the end there's DuckTales, and I'm like, DuckTales?
Woo.
Are you thinking about Disney TVA too? If you put Disney TVA into Disney Solitaire, then get me interested, because again, who knows? Gravity Falls might be on there. Kim Possible might be on there.
Where can I find Disney Solitaire?
It's on your mobile device.
Oh, it's on mobile?
Yeah,
I see.
So you can go on you can go on the Play Store, you can go on the App Store. They're both available. They're both there for you to play. It's fun. It's fun, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Just don't waste your coins, or you're gonna be spending money on it. Okay.
Yeah. See, there are some apps that do suck you in. They really do.
Yeah.
Suck out your money.
That's a fun game, by the way. So yeah, again, if I were you and you're bored, can't do much of anything around the house, I'd say just go ahead and try out this games. Apps have been fun. Like mobile games have been fun so far. So,
Really nice.
Yeah. Then console games, sorry, honestly.
Like I don't play much mobile games. I'm much more of a console guy, but I'll look into that.
Yeah. Go check on the other mobile games, because they got a lot of good ones out there. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this episode started, shall we?
Yes, let's go.
All right. Let's go ahead and get this episode started, and let's actually talk about, well, a couple of weeks ago, there was this one convention that was going on called Level Up Expo. It was all the way in Las Vegas. Some special guests were there, included Vivienne, who worked on Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss.
Yes.
And they had a panel. Obviously, you got to be seeing a lot of fans who love Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, and you know they're going to be all around the Level Up Expo floor. The thing is that you didn't know that they're going to have an announcement, were they? Well, lucky for y'all, there is an announcement that is coming out for everybody. That is going to be happening for all Hazbin Hotel fans and Hell of a Boss fans. Hell of a Boss is coming to Prime Video.
Yes, let's go. So it's not just Hazbin Hotel. No, it's the entire Hellverse that is going to be under Prime. Like, how excited is that? The fact that you got Hell of a Boss that is joining Hazbin Hotel and Prime Video, it is a true victory for Hellverse fans everywhere.
Yeah, so Helloverse fans are going to be enjoying this because Hazbin Hotel, as it continues to continue to work on season 3 and 4 of the show, Hell of a Boss is also continuing on with more new episodes and more new seasons coming out on Prime Video than YouTube. So what's your thoughts about that, the fact that they're now going to Prime Video?
My thoughts are, when I heard that they were going to Prime Video, I was very excited because I really do like Hell of a Boss. I do love Hazbin Hotel more, obviously, but Hell of a Boss is a show that I thoroughly enjoy, and I always thought that it deserves to be much more than YouTube. It deserves the Prime Video treatment as well, similar to Hazbin Hotel. But the fact that Hell of a Boss is not only going to continue being on YouTube, but also Prime Video as well. It has 2 houses, and I couldn't be more prouder of Hell of a Boss.
Yeah, I think for anything, Hell of a Boss ended up actually doing a really fun job. I would say it was fun actually seeing. Well, I mean, here's the thing: like Hell of a Boss, honestly, haven't seen it. To be fair,
really?
So, well, yeah, I was more into Hazbin Hotel than Hell of a Boss. To be fair,
like you haven't seen all. Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. I would say give Hell of a Boss a try. Give Hell of a Boss a watch. You'll definitely grow to like it, if not love it.
Okay, so yeah, I want to ask like folks out there because Hell of a Boss has not really been under my like realm to say. How many seasons does it have right now? 2?
It currently has 2, yes.
And how many episodes does it have per season?
I could be about 8 or 12, probably 12, but I do need to recount.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know it's supposed to be as entertaining as Hazbin Hotel, right? It has musical numbers, and it's supposed to be all about Blitz and his crew of assassins. Is that right?
Yeah, so Hell of a Boss doesn't have as much musical numbers as Hazbin Hotel. It's not musical oriented like Hazbin Hotel is. Like Hell of a Boss does have some musical numbers though, but it's mostly the comedy and the action and the vulgar humor that carries Hell of a Boss.
Okay, I know that there's like human versions of the characters. Is that correct?
They are, but they play very minor roles.
Okay, so they end up turning humans too. Is that what I'm seeing here?
So one of the characters, like I'm serious. I don't know. There's Luna does have the power to turn human when she enters a human world. Okay. So
all right, I was wondering if everybody else can do the same thing as well, but yeah. So that's what I know about Hell of a Boss, and yeah, that's just mostly things I've heard. Now, because there's just a thing about how Hell of a Boss now enters me now, it's because it's now on Prime Video. Because like I'll be watching Hazbin Hotel, and then Hell of a Boss also comes in as well. It's cool, but I haven't seen the first and second season, which means like I have to watch it on YouTube first before actually watching it on Prime Video now.
Yeah, so definitely give YouTube a watch before you decide whether or not you want to watch the newest season on Prime Video.
I mean, I have a feeling like there's going to be a thing about Hazbin and Hell of a Boss actually coming together because they did it in this promotion video. Yeah, you had Charlie and Blitz, both of them just coming out of nowhere, like in front of a screen in Vivian's Vivian's panel at Level Up Expo, talking about the fact that Hazbin Hotel is still going on. Season 2 is supposed to come out this year, as well as Hell of a Boss now having that big announcement.
And I'm going to say this right now, this is quite possibly the closest we'll ever get to a legit Hazbin Hell of a Boss.
I have a feeling they will have it. I'm just waiting for Vivian to actually put an announcement saying, like, I think we're about to have a crossover episode, woo, that kind of thing.
Hopefully that happens, but in the meantime, we at least have this. We do at least have this. We at least have the Hazbin and Hell of a characters interacting with each other. So we can celebrate that.
So when you saw that whole promotion video, do you like the interaction between Charlie and Blitz? Because both of them are silly as heck. Like, I mean, Charlie's supposed to be sweet like a princess, but Blitz is an idiot. Okay, so he's like a jerk sometimes when you ever see him talk to Charlie like that, And that's why the two work well off each other. Both Charlie and Blitz are very passionate characters, but when it comes to personalities, the difference between them is night and day, where Charlie is very nice and then Blitz is the mean asshole. Mm-hmm. And so the two work well off each other with the banter and the dialogue exchange. I feel like they do really work off each other in the promo. I do, yeah. I mean, they do really well with it. That's the reason why, like, the promo ended up doing really well. It's only, 2 minutes long, but we get to see Charlie continue to talk about Hazbin Hotel. I've seen people put up on Twitter, so many pictures of her just looking into the camera, saying it's going well, by the way. And you're looking at, and people are saying, she's hot, fuck. She is.
Oh, y'all horny.
Shut up. Hey, we're in hell. We're okay to say this, okay?
That's true. Like, Charlie does look very attractive. I will say, Charlie's very beautiful.
Everybody keeps on putting up, like, when she just looks at the camera and just goes with that little curved smirk.
Oh, God.
The smirk in her eyes.
Is that on? Is it on?
I know. No, it's not that. When she goes into when she goes to the other camera saying, like, it's going really well, by the way. And I'm like, oh, shit, no, it looks beautiful. God damn it.
Yeah,
I understand why Maggie likes Charlie.
Maggie's got good taste. She has good taste.
Oh.
But anyway, so what I like is that there's also this fourth wall breaking humor where they announce some good news for their shows. Like Charlie brought up that seasons 2, 3, and 4 are gonna be renewed, and then Blitz announced the big announcement, which was the point of the promo.
Yeah, the point of the promo was supposed to be Hell of a Boss going to Amazon Prime Video. Hell of a Boss 2, 3, and season 2 is supposed to come out this year. 3 and 4 are still in the works. That was already announced long ago before Level Up Expo.
Yeah, but I'm glad that it's being brought up into the forefront. We get to see Charlie herself announce it, even though it's already been announced. I thought it was a nice taste. Like, it's a, at the cherry on top when it comes to...
Yeah, I think the cherry on top was still having, like, Blitz just come out and bring everybody from Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss together, So you get to see Stolas, you get to see Luna, you get to see Vaggie, you get to see... you get to see, like, every character. You see Alistair, by the way, who ruined up the freaking video, by the way. Because he always does that, so...
Yeah, it felt like one big extended Helliverse family from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Because you got all these characters being designed and done by Vivzy Pop, and it's just so endearing to see.
Oh, that was one thing I also want to point out, how, Blitz calls her a bitch. I'm like, you're not even kidding me.
Yeah, and then you got Blitz nicknaming the Hazbin Hotel like Hash Brown Hotel or something like that.
Because
Hash Brown House.
Oh, here's the thing. That's what Blitz is. He's an idiot, and he's a jerk. He always says slang like that. So
But and like I said, the two personalities worked well off each other.
Also, the voice actor I don't know the voice actor of Blitz, Brandon, by the way. Like I've seen his videos. He really is in character with Blitz. Like, God, he's so good.
He really does. He has that passion for voice acting, and it really shows. And also, what I liked is the doodles that are presented here.
Oh, yeah. It was by him, too.
the doodles that Blitz pointed out, like, they were really, cute.
They're
really
cute,
adorable.
yeah. And then the fact that he also put up, like, YouTube and Amazon Prime Video, which is great, because, like, it kind of stinks the fact that, like, you have to watch it on Prime Video to actually watch the new season of Hell of a Boss, but then it'll come out later, like, weeks later on YouTube. Do you like that formula? Like, people can't watch Amazon Prime Video because they don't have Prime, and then they have to, like, wait a couple, like, weeks later to watch it on YouTube.
I think that it would be unfortunate for those that can't subscribe to Prime, and so they have to
honestly,
rely on YouTube.
Like, it makes sense sometimes because, YouTube is free, but the problem is Amazon Prime Video, you have to pay to actually watch it. So it's like, it kind of sucks for, like, fans who are into the show because they're going to get spoiled.
Exactly. So they have to avoid the internet as much as possible for the next couple
weeks. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, that'll pretty much that's for each Hell of a Boss fan to decide, okay, like, is it worth paying this much to watch Hell of a Boss avoid spoilers?
I'm imagining, like, every Hell of a Boss fan who loves the show will probably get on it. I mean, if you are already... Look, here's the thing. If you are, like, a Hell of a Boss fan, you probably are a Hazbin Hotel fan. So you should have watched Hazbin Hotel when you have Prime anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
if you were gonna get into Hell of a Boss, I think you would have watched it already.
Exactly. Yeah. So man, it's again a complicated little thing here, but yeah.
Here's the cherry on top for me. The cherry on top for me was when Charlie and Blitz pretty much preached to what every animation fan should know. Animation takes a long time.
It does take a long time indeed. Because
yes. I am so glad they.
There's a reason why, like, you don't see Hazbin Hotel have it isn't coming out till, like, this year, which is great. But I know that it came out last year in 2024, and everybody loved the first season. Like, there were so many fans who love Hazbin Hotel. Like, I was a huge fan of Hazbin Hotel. We all are. And then, of course, waiting for the second season was going to be a thing, and they were like, okay, when is it going to happen? I know it was going to be in 2025, but, like, when? But you know what? It is something that they actually did point out, that animation does take forever.
And this is something that is really important for animation fans to take in, because there are some Helliverse fans and some animation fans that are impatient when it comes to animation. Like, they are so eager to have their animated content be released as soon as possible. And look, while I'm excited for some animated projects, I do acknowledge that, you know what? It does take a long time. And you know what? I could wait years for it to be released as long as they polish it.
Yeah, I mean, they have made all these like animated episodes. They just had to like animate it, produce it, make sure everything is all like clean and nifty before it actually goes on to Amazon Prime. And again, like I love how Amazon Prime is taking their time, making them take their time, not having a freaking deadline for them to actually make the next step, make the next season and all. So, I mean, I get it. Like Hazbin Hotel and Hello Boss fans are going to be a little bit impatient, but to be fair, look, it's their work. Let them cook. Let them have their time to make this show happen so that you'll get a good season of Hazbin Hotel coming up.
Exactly. Like it's better to wait a long time for the animated shows to be coming out fresh rather than be rushed. You don't want to be rushed.
Honestly, it has been recent, right? Since the last Hell of a Boss episode?
The last Hell of a Boss episode, I don't know what date exactly the last episode was released, but it might have been released about last year or so.
It was last year? Okay.
I could be wrong, but it was released
Again,
recently.
I haven't seen the show, so I don't know actually the full facts. You've already watched it, so I thought you know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what I was saying about Hello Boss has been, much like Hazbin Hotel, it's gained a lot of popularity, including fan art, fan panels, cosplay, and everything. Yeah. And so it's nice to see Hell of a Boss get the same amount of success as its sister show.
It's huge. I know that it's absolutely huge. So if anything, Hazbin Hotel, Hell of a Boss is going to be great. I know Amazon Prime has like a moneymaker with these two. So, and if anything, it gets me watching Amazon Prime Video. Honestly, I haven't seen much on Amazon Prime Video, and now it's making me. It's the only thing that's actually making me watch Amazon Prime. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, when it comes to Prime Video, it's these two and The Boys. The Boys,
yeah.
Like those three are what got.
Oh, and Thursday Night Football, and now basketball coming out next season, by the way. So that's coming on Prime. So
yeah, I can't wait for that.
Either way, Hazbin Hotel, Hell of a Boss have made this announcement. They're going to have the new season of Hell of a Boss coming out soon to Amazon Prime Video, and Hazbin Hotel season 2 will be coming out later on this year in Amazon Prime Video as well.
Yeah, so we can't wait for it, and we can't wait for all the action, comedy, and songs to go with Hell of a Boss. So yeah,
can't wait for it for sure. All right, so yeah, I really wish I would have gone to the Level Up Expo. It literally was like close by to us.
I know.
Could have taken like a 2-hour flight to get down to Las Vegas.
It's like I'm jealous of all y'all people.
My friend went to Level Up Expo, but he's not a big Hazbin Hotel Hell of a Boss fan, so he was just there having fun with a couple friends.
My brother lives in Las Vegas, but I do not see him going to Level Up Studios.
I don't think he is going to do that.
The only way he would go is if he goes with me.
Yeah, because
is if I drag him along there.
Right, exactly. Oh, he'll enjoy it, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know. If he can watch the shows that we watch, though.
But there's more to Level Up Studios that just has been and Hell of a Boss. There's a lot of more stuff.
Dude, it's a bunch of anime fans also that are there too. So
yeah,
it's a big convention. But then you also have like big time studios there. Glitch Productions was also there in Level Up Expo too.
Yeah, exactly. Hence my point is that like Level Up Studios is a celebration of all kinds of fandom for all kinds of works of art.
Yeah,
and pop culture. Yeah.
All right, so let's actually go into our next news here. Let's actually talk about this particular movie. I am so sorry. It might be a little bit inappropriately looking at a dog's ass. But
then again, it goes with the subject matter of the movie.
Yeah, so this is a movie called Fixed. Yes, it's talking about a dog getting fixed. I don't know if you all know what fixed means, but it is pretty much what you think it is. I ain't got to be explicit out here, but please look it up on Google if you are curious.
Let's just say the title speaks for itself.
Here's the thing. This movie was actually made by a movie was actually made by a veteran in the animation community, Gendy Tartakovsky, who has worked on many amazing shows like Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls was Craig McCracken.
Sorry, Samurai Jack, Symbiotic Titan, Primal, Dexter's Laboratory, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and a bunch of like other big names to say. Now his movie is actually coming out on Netflix, but this is a big story where this movie should have not been out for. Like, it has gone through so much stuff to say.
Yeah, it's been on quite a journey. You could say that it's a journey that is similar to both Nimona and Coyote versus Acme because of the hell that it went through the past years. So what happened was that it was Gendy Tartakovsky Sony wanted this wanted Sony to distribute this movie, to have it be released in theaters. But Sony Pictures Animation was so stubborn to Gendy, to up to the point where they're like, okay, what we want for you, all we're gonna distribute from you when it comes to your work is Hotel Transylvania. That's it. Just Hotel Transylvania, Hotel Transylvania, Hotel Transylvania.
Did Gendy even make Hotel Transylvania?
Gendy directed Hotel Transylvania.
Did he make all of them?
So he was involved in the Hotel Transylvania movies.
So all 4 of them then? Right?
Yeah, so...
it's quite interesting because, like, to be fair, the movies have been fine, and then, like, it starts to dip, honestly.
So what happened was that that idea came to fruition from Gendy Tartakovsky sometime during the production of Hotel Transylvania 1. He wanted to... he had this movie idea and he wanted to distribute it. The problem is that Sony Pictures Animation refused to distribute it. So Gendy Tartakovsky took this project and asked Warner Brothers to help with this movie instead. But unfortunately, last year, with Warner Brothers purchasing their animated works, Warner Brothers let go of Fix. And so what happened was that Warner Brothers gave the rights to Fix back to Sony Pictures Animation, who still refused to do something with it to help distribute it.
I have a question about this. Did he make this movie like when Hotel Transylvania was still going on?
I think it was either he made it or he had
like,
that idea in mind.
Yeah, the idea. Well, Hotel Transylvania was like back in the late 2010s to say. Like the first Hotel Transylvania was around there. So I believe, like, if I'm looking at this right, he probably made the movie around like in the late 2010s to the early 2020s, and then the pandemic happened. So I'm assuming like some animators just was on the side making this fixed movie, you know, which is great for Gendy, but at the same time he's still working on Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, so during the pandemic is when the 4th Hotel Transylvania movie, Transformania, was being in production. So yes, it is during a time that the Hotel Transylvania movies were still currently. It was still a time when the series was still alive.
Yeah, I know that also the 4th movie of Hotel Transylvania also did end up getting some mixed up, like, was in a mess too, because like it wasn't even released by Sony Pictures. It was actually Amazon Prime that actually brought it out to their streaming services, not like a theater or anything like that.
Yeah, it tells you all you need to know about how milk dried to the bone that the Hotel Transylvania franchise is.
I kind of felt that because like when you see, it's interesting because I did see 4 recently. Adam Sandler wasn't even in that movie.
Yeah, it was voiced by a different actor.
Yeah,
but the thing is that when you watch the trailer, if you never would have guessed that it was a different actor playing Dracula. I will say that the new voice actor in this movie really did nail Dracula down to a T.
He did a great job, but yes, you can understand why it got milked, because like there's so many ideas that's been going on with Hotel Transylvania that makes you think like, why are we needing this movie? Why are we needing more of this movie? Like the 3rd movie was kind of a bust to me because they went on vacation.
I didn't even like the 2nd movie. I didn't even bother watching the 3rd or 4th movie because I didn't even like the 2nd.
Yeah. 3rd movie was them on vacation, and then like Dracula liking this one human girl. Then in the 4th movie, she now moved into the hotel, and something about new ownership of the hotel because Dracula's retiring. That's all I can say about the Hotel Transylvania movies. Okay?
Very predictable. It's very predictable.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to be like the next upcoming thing, but it's just like stop milking the whole franchise because already 1 was great as it is. But I know that a lot of kids want to see more, so that's why they made sequels.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's unfortunate, but really, what can you do? It's really like Hotel Transylvania is one of the many IPs.
Do you feel bad for Gendy? The fact that like he had to just continue working on these movies because you know that the quality kind of dipped, and it was his work. So
Gendy Tartakovsky deserves better. Like, he is a talent, and you're pretty much wasting his potential by having him continue to milk Hotel Transylvania dry to the bone. He deserves better.
Yeah.
And honestly, I do celebrate the fact that this is finally getting released.
I was kind of still wondering how the timeline goes because remember, Primal also was still being made during the 2020s as well. Like, the 2nd season did come out a couple of years ago. And now we have this movie to come out, and it's fixed. And again, if you're telling me he started back in the 2010s with the Hotel Transylvania 1, that means he had like 9 years to try to release this thing.
So it's been a long time since he's tried to get the movie distributed and released. We don't know exactly how many years. It might have been some time after the Hotel Transylvania movies, first movie was being made, but it took a long time for him to try to make sure that this gets distributed and or released.
Yeah.
But thankfully now we finally got it. Though not distributed to like the big screen, at least Netflix picked it up.
I think if anything, it should be best not on the big. Oh, I don't know about that because you did see Strays before. Remember, it kind of relates to me to Strays. So
the best way I would describe Strays is this movie. It's that it's a cartoon version of Strays.
Yeah,
because it's an R-rated movie starring talking dogs.
And you had like big name actors like Will Ferrell and Snoop Dogg out of all people.
And so like I do thank Netflix for helping this come to light. And so it's gonna get viewed by people, like it's gonna be seen the light of day, and we celebrate that.
For sure.
Like at least it'll be viewed in some way or another. And something tells me that if it were to be released in movie theaters, I think
it'll be a bomb. I think it'll be a bomb.
Yes, as much as I hate to admit it, because I want this movie to succeed, I don't think that it would do well because of how it's not based on a pre-existing or popular IP. It's its own original thing. And another thing too is that it's an R-rated 2D animated movie, and so the only kind of exposure you're going to see in theaters is opening weekend mainly, and that's only when parents who don't know much about it, except it's a cartoon movie about talking dogs, I want to take my kids to see it, and then they're in for a rude awakening.
No. I don't think it's gonna be fun, especially with the fact that it's a cartoon. And I hate that whole gimmick where like, cartoons are for kids. No, it's not.
It's not. Exactly.
They have like big time, like, was it adult animated like films that are out there too. I mean, they're even in TV too.
It's the ignorant mindset that most adults have, and it pisses me off, which is why I speculated that this movie, if it were to come out of theaters, it wouldn't do well. You're right. In fact, it would do even worse than even The Day the Earth Blew Up did.
Well, what do you mean by that? It still ended up having like good reviews and stuff.
The Day the Earth Blew Up did have good reviews, and not only that, but it made a decent amount. It made more money than I thought, but it made less than the film budget.
Because I know that it also was successful in international markets too. So
the problem with The Day the Earth Blew Up is that the marketing could have been better here domestically.
But it's
domestic markets.
Warner Brothers kind of screwed that up anyway. So yeah.
But anyway, back to this. I think that this was a relatively good move of Fix to be shown.
Yeah, well, we got to finally see what this movie is all about. And to be fair, like, it is kind of a funny thing for Gendy to do this. Like, I never expect Gendy to actually, out of all people, like, make a adult animated film about dogs getting their things cut off, you know?
Yeah, it's sort of like the out of the realm concept. It's sort of a unexpected.
I never expected this. Also, to be fair, like, look, he made an Unhinged Samurai Jack cartoon for Adult Swim.
He's made Primal as well.
Yeah, Primal's also very unhinged too. A lot of gore in that thing. So he's kind of like getting out of the stages of being a kids movie, kids sort of subject person to finally doing like these huge, like, big adult projects and all. Yeah,
so Gendy Tartakovsky covering adult material isn't really all that new, wherein you consider, like you pointed out, he's done the final season of Samurai Jack and Primal, which are adult-oriented. And so I like how Gendy is going from kid-oriented content like Dexter's Lab to adult-oriented content like this.
And again, like, if anything, I think Gendy's trying to go into a different path now instead of like back in the 90s making all these kids cartoons. Yes, like that's my thing of like what he's doing right now, which is good, but at the same time, like, this is kind of a big leap for him, you know?
Yeah, it really is. And we do hope that this movie does well, because then it will open doors for him to do even more adult-oriented content.
Maybe even a live-action film. Who knows?
Really? No, like a live-action fix?
No. Live-action film, like, to like have his idea actually have like actors and stuff, you know?
Really? Like a live-action Gendy Tartakovsky movie?
Yeah. Can they? Why not try that out too?
I mean, it is an idea that he could experiment
with. Like what happened to Jim Henson, when he did it with puppets, now Muppets with humans, you know?
I'm not against the idea of Gendy Tartakovsky doing live action, but as of now, he's more of a cartoon.
Yeah. If he's gonna be a cartoonist, it's cool, but like, you know, why not take the leap of actually making live action films, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to continue your directing career, you know?
If it is, then you know what? I'll happily support Gendy because I'm a fan of him and I'm a fan of his work.
Yeah. Let's go actually talk about the movie because this is the adult animated comedy movie. It's about a dog named Bull who learns that he's going to be neutered in the morning. He then decides before then to have one last adventure with a pack of friends. So it's kind of like a bachelor's party or something, right?
Sort of like that. It's sort of like a bachelor's party, but the occasion is that he wants to spend his one last adventure with his pack of friends. It's more like, oh, he thinks that, I don't know, he's going to die or he's not going to be the same dog he was anymore.
He's not going to be the same dog anymore for sure because, yes, something is going to be happening to him.
So he decides to take this moment to make the most out of his experience.
Oh man, that makes sense. What's going on with this one last adventure with his pack of friends? I'm assuming like his friends are gonna be hanging out with him, and they're all gonna do dirty things.
Yeah, things we will not get into. All right, things we will not get into.
Because I know this is supposed to be an adult film. Yes, not like X-rated film. It's more like a rated R film. Yes, because we're going into that. It's so weird because like I look back in Gendy's movies or like Gendy's like cartoons and like you watch Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, Primal, Symbiotic Titan, all these great films, all these great cartoons, and then out of all nowhere you're gonna see this, and I'm like, what are we looking at now?
You don't expect him to make content like this even after Samurai Jack and Primal. This is something that is a bit unexpected. Like when you look at this, the first thing you don't think of is Gendy Tartakovsky because he doesn't tackle subject matter that involves genitals.
Right. I mean, I don't want to say that actually, but
more or less dogs' privates.
Yes, it's just oh god. I mean, here's the way I'm kind of thinking of it right now. If this is supposed to be one last ride for a dog that's about to get neutered, then yes, I would imagine the dogs are gonna have a fun time out. Like all the humans are going to go to bed, and then the dogs are gonna go to their dog pounds or dog areas, that dog parks and all that kind of jazz, and to do some things. That's I think what the whole movie's gonna be about. Very fair.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go into this movie expecting some wild dog shenanigans to happen, and something tells me that there might be some dirty scenes here and there. I'm just gonna put it that way.
This is definitely not for kids. I know it's an R-rated film, okay? So I'm just trying to look at my mindset and say, like, this is not a Gendy film that he's ever done before. It's not a Gendy thing that he's ever done before, okay?
So please don't let the 2D animation fool you. It's really not for kids. You might want to steer your kid away from this.
Yeah. So from the promo images, because there were a couple of images that came out, what are your first impressions when it comes to the animation style, the art style of the film?
I'm digging the 2D animation. I think the 2D animation is very well done. When you look at the animation from Vix, it does look to be this Gendy Tartakovsky-like style that you come to expect from Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, Symbiotic Titan, because it does have that flat yet detailed kind of animation that you see.
It kind of reminds me of Scooby-Doo, like in the new version of Scooby-Doo, because like the dog style look like with their faces and stuff. The animation style definitely looks like the newer version of Scooby-Doo. Like you can look at that face right there; it looks like Scooby-Doo to me.
It kind of does. In fact, this dog would be perfect for a Scooby-Doo cartoon, as maybe Scooby-Doo's dog BFF or something.
Maybe. Oh, it would be funny if we actually get a Scooby-Doo reference. Honestly, I think there might be a Scooby-Doo reference there.
I would not be.
Yeah.
Something tells me there might be.
Again, I'm impressed with the art style. You know, this is Gendy continuing to be awesome. So I think this is going to look great when it comes to the movie. When it comes to the movie on Netflix, to say. There are also a wide variety of talented actors that are going to be in this movie, including Adam Devine, who is the main character Bull. Idris Elba's also in this as well as the Rocco. I don't know who he is. Catherine Hahn, Fred Armisen, Boymi Monahan, Beck Bennett, River Gallo, and Michelle Buteau. What are your thoughts about the casting? Because I know they're all A-list celebrities, to say.
They're all A-list celebrities, but I do feel like each and every one of them, they are talented. I'm just wondering how talented they will be with their roles, what they will bring to the table.
I'm sorry, you have Idris Elba. I'm sorry, he voiced Knuckles. Okay? I'm pretty sure we got a very tough, brute dog in this film now.
What I'm curious about is, okay, now I know for a fact that Fred Armisen is the voice of Cranky Kong from the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I'm wondering, is he going to do the same voice as he did with Cranky Kong?
Possibly, in this case. Yeah.
Like, also, that voice like this.
Also, Boymi Monahan, he was Panda in We Bare Bears. So I'm like, I don't think you're going to do a panda voice for Lucky or something. I don't imagine it being like some sort of different kind of tone when it comes to a dog like that. Or unless you want to be a panda, like get a voice like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he voices Best Bear in We Bare Bears, so I'm excited for that. Let's go. Yeah, like I said, each and every single one of these actors and actresses have shown that they have incredible talents, both on camera and voice acting, and I think this will be no exception.
I feel it's so funny that you actually get to see like 3 SNL alumni actually being a part of this film.
It's kind of like a mini SNL reunion.
Well, it's weird because like some SNL actors and actresses, after they end their run in SNL, they end up going to voice acting, and some go to acting, which do really well, but like voice acting still ends up doing pretty well. Beck Bennett, by the way, like I know he's been great in SNL. He left for voice acting, looks like, because like he voiced Hamster and Hamster and Gretel, and he also did voice what was that duck in DuckTales? Shoot, I forgot his name.
I know the same actor that voices Panda. We're not talking about the same actor.
No, I'm talking about Beck Bennett. Beck Bennett.
Oh, Beck Bennett.
Yeah, he voiced who's the navigator again in the DuckTales?
Launchpad.
Yeah, he's Launchpad. There you go.
Launchpad.
That's him too.
Yeah.
So again, I'm looking at it and it looks good that they're actually having good voice actors being a part of this film. So I think this looks promising. I think it looks great that we're getting some good voice actors here.
Yeah, it got me curious, like how this is going to turn out, and of course I'll be seeing it day one because
on Netflix.
Yeah, as a Gendy fan, I am obligated to see it.
I can't wait to see it as well. But yes, this is going to be Gendy's first ever adult animated film, rated R for purposes. You know why. Definitely adult theme for sure. And I really hope it goes well. Definitely out of the realm that Gendy makes these kind of films, but we'll see how it goes. This film Fixed is coming out on Netflix August 13th. So if you're into that, go check it out on Netflix on that date.
Yeah, so pretty much if you're an adult like us, enjoy it. Enjoy the movie. But for all you underage viewers, do not watch this.
I'm pretty sure they'll have like a restriction thing ready for them. Like, are you 18 up? You know, that kind of thing on Netflix.
It's kind of like that Robbie Rotten meme where it's like, don't let your kids watch this. Yeah, it's sort of like that.
They will have an age restriction thing before you watch the film. Are you 18 and up? Are you 18, 17 or up or something? Yeah.
I know you like cute cartoon dogs, but no, this is not for you.
That's definitely not for you. For those who
You're too young. You're too young.
Yeah. All right. Without further ado, let's actually go into our main subject. And it has been look since we did our little tournament a couple months ago. We did have our winner. It was the Fairly Oddparents and You Wish. So with this whole episode is going to be all about Fairly Oddparents and You Wish and how successful it got from what it was. Because to be fair, Fairly Oddparents turned out to be a dead franchise after what it's been going through. And out of nowhere in 2024, this new show, Fairly Oddparents and You Wish, brought back life to the Fairly Oddparents, to say.
Oh yeah, it made Fairly Oddparents such a good brand again.
It sure did. All right, so let's actually go ahead and actually start off at the beginning where the Fairly Oddparents all started off with this one person named Timmy Turner.
Yes, the one that started it all. The OG FOP right here.
Before we get to talk about this particular series, it's tough for us to talk about the OG FOP starring Timmy Turner. Needless to say, we were fans of the show growing up, and while we were saddened that the show suffered from season rot much later, we still had very fun memories about watching the earlier seasons, along with some iconic specials like, Abracatastrophe, Channel Chasers, The Fairy Idol, and a whole lot more. Any fond memories you like to bring up when it comes to the old Fairly Oddparents?
Oh, I never forget. I've had so many fond memories of Fairly Oddparents growing up, and it goes beyond watching the show. I do remember I played a couple of the games, Fairly Oddparents Breaking the Rules, that video game. Mm-hmm. It was quite fun. Even though the gameplay was a bit clunky at times, I still had fun because, well, I'm a kid who loved Fairly Oddparents, so I had a blast with it.
It's quite an interesting take about how Timmy Turner was, because when I look into how New Wish is, Fairly Oddparents took it a little bit of a different turn to say. Like, I grew up watching Fairly Oddparents in 2001. I started liking the Fairly Oddparents, like how they are, like a little kid who ends up getting fairies, do all the kinds of wishes here and there.
Yeah.
And then it made me like Cosmo and Wanda a lot too, because both of them are a very silly couple to say.
Yeah, it made us wish that as kids we got our own fairy godparents so we could grant wishes.
Yeah.
But what I do like about this show is that it's not afraid to spell out, be careful what you wish for, because they really do enhance the message throughout most of their episodes.
It's kind of the thing about it, you make a wish, and then after that, there's some regrets when it comes to the wish to say. That happens in every episode, and it kind of did get... I did like the ideas. It kind of got repetitive, but I did like the ideas of what they're trying to do to say. Like, I remember one episode where like Timmy tried to make one of his best friend's one of his best friends good at baseball to say.
And then it backfires.
And it backfires because he ends up becoming like a show off and having Timmy become like the pack mule or something of the team.
He even got his own brand of cereal, Chester O's.
Yes.
No, Tim, we don't want your loser cereal, Timmy O's. No, Timmy, we don't want your Timmy O's.
No, he ends up getting like, what is it, the pack mule like stuff that like they get for horses to say. Yeah.
And also, there's this one where Timmy wishes to be popular amongst the popular kids, especially to win the heart of Trixie Tang. But then But then the consequences do awry when Timmy loses his godparents, and also Timmy's actual friends lose respect for him. And so Timmy comes to find that being popular or having a lot of stuff isn't all it's cracked up to be.
You know what's kind of funny? They actually have a continuation episode for it. Do you remember that episode where like Chester, it's like the point of view with Chester and AJ's.
I do remember. Yeah. It served as sort of a spin-off episode where you got Chester and AJ from their point of view. Yeah, you're right. It takes place during the timeline of that episode, but from their perspective, it was kind of fun to see.
Yeah, I think that was kind of fun. I also want to bring up like the Fairly Oddparents baby, like as Poof when he was born. I remember that special where like everybody would want to get him because it was like one of the first babies born from the Fairly Oddparents, and of course it packs a lot of magic and stuff. So you get to see pixies try to get him. You try to see anti-fairies also try to get him as well. Do you remember that?
Something I have to bring out about Poof. Now, some people argue that when Poof was born, it's when the show started to decline just a bit. I'm gonna say this right now. I never hated Poof, but I just was never a fan of the episodes that came after Poof was born.
Really? I kind of did enjoy a little bit of it. But yes, I do understand about the decline, yes. Because now you have Poof in the picture. It's not the same where you have Cosmo and Wanda doing all the wishes with Timmy to say. And then there's been like some episodes where it's like, why do we need this episode? Because you have like you have like Poof and Foop. Both of them are in school together. I don't know if you've seen those episodes before.
Yeah, yeah. I do like Foop. He was kind of entertaining, but as for Poof himself, I feel less as a character and more of a plot device.
For Foop or
Poof? Like Poof always came off to me as a plot device.
What do you mean by a plot device? Are you trying to say like there's some story with Poof? Because there have been episodes where like Poof was not even the main focus.
Poof was not even the main focus. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, he's kind of there, but then like at the same time, there are some situations where like Poof would need to like make a wish by himself. And again, I told you that one little miniseries where you get to see Poof in school together.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that those are the episodes that do use Poof to his full extent, especially when his interactions with Foop. And like I said, I actually really did like Foop. Like, Foop was definitely so entertaining, and he was much more interesting than his original counterpart. So I did like the interactions between them from Foop himself.
Very nice. Yeah, either way, like, I think, like, Poof and Poof are cool. How do you feel about the Pixies? Because, again, in A New Wish, you don't see the Pixies at all. So...
when I saw the Pixies, I did like that whole... Ben Stein parody that came with the Pixies. Well, it was
Ben Stein that was also voicing them, so...
with that dry voice, that it really is Ben Stein. So I think what really carries the Pixies is the rap numbers.
We're Pixies.
We're Pixies.
Okay, no, besides that, there have been episodes where Pixies just come out of nowhere just to, like, make negotiations or something like that.
Yeah, they're pretty much your typical corrupt businessmen.
Yeah. I remember the first episode when they first met the Pixies. It was like an episode where like Cosmo had to be like with them or something.
Like the Pixies are not shy from presenting themselves as like they're very corporate.
I forgot how it went because I remember Cosmo joined the Pixies or something like that. Like he became a business guy himself, and I'm like, how did this go? How did this happen?
Cosmo became a Pixie himself. It's like, Cosmo, this isn't like you at all.
No, it isn't. And he's like saying, oh, we're doing like, what was it? Fashion Fridays or something like that. So they all Culture Friday or something like that, where they actually can dress whatever they want.
Casual Friday.
Casual Friday, that's what it's called. Yeah. Whoops.
And so, however, that episode is not the last we've seen of the Pixies. The Pixies do play a very big antagonistic role in Schools Out the musical.
Yeah, the It was in the second season, I believe that was, right?
Yeah, and Schools Out the Musical was a blast to watch from start to finish. Each and every single musical number was very well done, very entertaining, and very well put together.
Yeah.
And the Pixies do serve well as the main antagonists, especially with their rap music.
It's kind of interesting how this all came to be because of the Flappy the Clown.
Yeah.
It was all about this guy. I'm like, what about Flappy? What's up with this guy? Is this all about him?
Yeah, I'm like, who is this guy? But then when you come to see Flappy the Clown and how he came to be from a clown to a boring businessman, especially influenced by the Pixies, Flappy does go through this significant character arc, and then afterwards you never see him again. You never see the character again.
No, it was pretty much just there for that movie to say.
He was just there for that movie, and after that, I'm like, okay, he kind of deserves more appearances than that, because he legit was sympathetic in the movie.
He kind of did make a lot of big things when it comes to wishes and like fairies and stuff over there. So yeah, I don't know why they write him off like that, because there's nothing about him anymore ever since that particular special. So.
But yeah, each musical number, from the Pixie rap to Adult Swim and everything, to especially, I think one of my favorites says, "Where is the fun? He was the one," because it combines Timmy's melancholic melodies with the Pixies rap. They combine it to make one hell of a conflict song, where it's basically the hero versus the villain duking it out. It's sort of like a rap battle, but rap comes from one side.
I haven't heard that movie ever in quite a while, honestly. I know more of Channel Chasers and Epic Catastrophe more, because they're both epic. Like, Epic Catastrophe definitely was, I think, the big movie out of the Fairly Oddparents, because you had Crocker now having all the wishes, and like it was Timmy who had this like cupcake, and like this cupcake is very powerful that anybody can grant a wish. A monkey could grant a wish. Crocker can grant a wish.
Fairly Odd Primates, bananas, bananas, bananas.
Remember that song? Oh Jesus!
Just bananas.
Yeah, because it's a freaking monkey. Of course they're gonna sing that song. Oh God, yeah.
But yeah,
even in that world, like they don't care humans. Like you see monkey henchmen try to capture humans and stuff. It's kind of crazy how that was.
Yeah, what I like about Epic Catastrophe is that it is epic from start to finish when you consider how the Fairly Oddparents universe takes place with 3 different versions, where you got the universe taking place in the normal universe, but of course it's your typical normal universe you often see in the series, and then you see the universe being run by primates, and then you see the universe being run by Crocker, where Denzel Crocker is the dictator.
Crocker kind of looked like was it Galactus in a little bit, right? From the way I'm seeing
He
it.
kind of reminded me of that, especially with the helmet.
Yeah, because the helmet kind of felt very horny, like the horns and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it tells me like, he looks like a devil to say. He looks like just like Galactus to say.
And then there's that big emotional scene where Timmy reveals his real parents, his godparents, and that really did hit home, because it's Timmy's selfish way of trying to sort of like, save his parents, save his loved ones. He has to reveal it to them, but then thankfully at the end, Timmy does thwart Mr. Crocker, because Mr. Crocker lost his magic.
Yeah.
After the reveal. And then after that, he gets his ass handed to him by Timmy's parents. And then after that, he makes it more Wolfie Rich, where Cosmo Wanderer are his godparents again.
Everything goes back to normal. And I'm like, this is a crazy adventure for an hour 30-minute special for them to go through all of this that.
But as far as Epic Catastrophe was, nothing could compare to Channel Chasers.
I think Channel Chasers was definitely the better one, because it also led to almost led to a post-apocalyptic world where Vicky was the ruler.
Channel Chasers was peak FOP.
I think so. Well, here's the thing. They also made so many different references to other cartoons. Like, they made a Johnny Quest cartoon. They made a Rugrats spin-off with the Fairly Oddparents. They had, like...
they even had Blue's Clues, and then they also had Sesame Street.
Yeah, they had that
and
as
The
well.
Simpsons.
Yeah, that too. I just remember so many, like, animated projects being involved with the Fairly Oddparents, and I just never expected that at all. So, I mean, it makes sense. Channel Chasers. So you're expecting a lot of, like, other kinds of media being a part of Channel Chasers. And I love how creative they went back then when they made Channel Chasers, because it's like, we got to make a puppet, we got to make Blue's Clues, we got to make anything that's popular back then when it comes to animated projects, and hence you get to see, what was it, Scooby-Doo parody,
a Dragon Ball parody.
A Dragon Ball, yeah, that was supposed to be the climactic fight there too, because you get to see Dragon Ball. They're literally like fighting in anime style.
Very ballsy.
Yeah, exactly.
Very ballsy.
You had Vicky like have a control with with a remote. Then you have Timmy do the same thing too with the remote as well. And I'm like, okay. And they also did like some sort of Star Wars little references here and there.
It's an all-out battle. An all-out battle between the two in each and every channel.
Yeah. So yeah, if anything, you're right. Channel Chases was great. Also, it did have a sympathetic message at the end as well. Because yes, the parents of Timmy are terrible because they don't care about their kid or something like that. But then
it's been established that the parents are not exactly great.
No, they're not great. But then this special actually did show that they were actually like caring parents. Like, we love you at the end and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, finally we get something good. And then in the end, they still end up going back to normal being terrible parents. So
yeah, so it kind of misses the point of the sympathetic ending because it's supposed to show.
It's supposed to be happy for the
here's the thing. Side.
Well, here's the thing. Like, this was great. Like, this will be the most satisfying ending for Timmy because like Vicky is going to be fired, and then his parents are going to like Timmy a whole lot more, but then he decided to just erase it all.
Yeah, because Timmy knows in his heart that as terrible as Vicky is, she is the reason why he got Cosmo and Wanda. So I do like how Timmy does make the wish based on that thought, because as much as he hates Vicky, he has a small appreciation for her for giving him Cosmo and Wanda indirectly.
Yeah, I think that's one thing too. But then I also did see like there's also another thing that also kind of interested me a whole lot more was also the future of Timmy, because you get to see a human Timmy who's like a rebel against Vicky and stuff like that, which is awesome. Like, you get to see a big like a adult Timmy, and then at the end of the movie, you get to see Timmy actually have kids with, I guess, Tootie. Looks like he was actually married with Tootie.
that definitely looked to be like, yep, he's married to Tootie.
Yeah, because the kids look like Tootie and Timmy. I'm like, okay, I guess we're gonna do that future now, are we?
That's good because I don't imagine him getting together with Trixie. He definitely has
it's not gonna happen. I mean, it also happened in the Fair live action movie. You get to see Tootie and Timmy together.
We don't talk about it, but anyway. Going back to this, now the reason why I consider Challenge Chasers peak is because it takes so much animation advantage. It takes so many animation styles, puts them into one special, and the action, the comedy, the drama, all of it combined to one epic episode, which would have been the series finale, because this was originally planned until Nickelodeon wanted to milk the franchise.
So that ruined it all, huh?
Challenge Chasers should have been the series finale. Challenge Chasers should have been the series finale in the same way the first SpongeBob movie should have been this actual finale of SpongeBob.
Yeah, instead we end up getting more Fairly Oddparents episodes. Then you were right, it started to milk everything up. We get to see Poof get born for the first time. We get to see a dog in the Fairly Oddparents. You get to see a new fairy kid, new kid sharing Cosmo and Wanda, which I'm like, what kind of ideas are they making? And here's my thing about this too. Like, why did they milk the franchise? And I don't know if Butch was also involved with it, because like, I don't think Butch would agree with this, honestly.
Honestly, but then again, knowing Bush, I don't think it would surprise me that he would have agreed to this. I don't remember whether or not he wanted to have more seasons.
He probably wouldn't, because like I remember seeing him in the credits. His name was not involved with the later seasons of the Fairly Oddparents. There were a bunch of like people that worked on the Fairly Oddparents, but it's like not Butch. I don't think Butch was named in there. I don't know.
But yeah, don't get me started on Sparky. I hated that mud. He was so annoying. He really was.
I also was wondering about it too, because like this is where I don't see Poof anymore. Remember, like Poof disappeared. Like when Sparky came in and when the girl came in.
Yeah. Now Chloe. I have mixed feelings about Chloe. Like, you know, as much as I hated the Timmy and Chloe centric episodes, when it comes to Chloe, I don't hate her, but she did grate on me a little bit.
Yeah.
But with Sparky though, I couldn't stand him one bit.
Yeah, he's an annoying.
He was terrible.
He's an annoying dog. But like, again, do you know when Poof left? Because I know Poof was gone. I don't know when. Again, I haven't watched the new season of Fairly Oddparents and stuff like the newer season of Fairly Oddparents, but like he did leave, and I don't know where he went. Did he go to school? Did he went off to just find a known Fairly God kid to go through? It was just like there was no answer to it, and I kind of was in the back of my mind, because like as I continued watching other cartoons like Loud House and SpongeBob, like Fairly Oddparents was like in the back of my mind thinking like, dude, this thing is dead. I don't like the show anymore. But then I also did notice, like, if I just randomly see a Fairly Oddparents episode, where the hell is Poof? Because when I saw the episode, like, it's random, because I remember seeing, like, an episode of Timmy and Chloe and Cosmo and Wanda in an episode, And my thing was, where is Poof? Because he's gone.
Yeah, I think Poof might have left either sometime before Sparky's first appearance or a few episodes after Sparky's appearance. I don't know.
So he was actually there in Sparky's episodes then.
I don't exactly remember. I'd have to look it up, but needless to say that Poof's last appearance and Sparky's first appearance are closely with each other, but I'd have to see whether or not they actually interacted legit.
Either way, I mean, Poof was gone, and that's all I could say about the Fairly Oddparents when it comes to the OG. I did stop like after Fairly Idol, because Fairly Idol was great. It all talked about this one genie, and apparently this genie just kept on going for like many episodes, because I remember he started off as like a genie in a lamp, and then he was like granting wishes with Crocker. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald.
Oh yeah, he's a great person himself too.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald was quite a legendary actor and voice actor.
But I'm talking about the genie, because he went through so many episodes and even got into a movie, Fairy Idol.
Yeah, I think that the genie presented himself as a very effective villain because it's another magical being that could grant wishes just like the fairies Cosmo Wanda. But the thing is with the genie is that he's sort of like a devilish sort of wish granter.
Yes,
in a sense.
because like he twists your wishes. Like, this is what he did with Timmy. Like, he wants, like, Trixie to like him, but then he wasn't specific on Timmy Turner, but there's many Timmy Turners out there, so...
Like, it's the equivalent of making a deal with the devil. Like, asking this genie to grant you wishes is like making a deal with the devil. Yeah. It ends up backfiring in the end.
But I don't know why they continue to drag him as a character, because I thought it was just, like, one character that I think was just like, okay, cool, he's back in his lamp, cool. But then Fairy Idol came out, and I'm like, wait, we now have more of a musical episode again?
Yeah, and speaking of Fairly Idol, just like with School's Out the musical, it was quite an effect. The musical songs were quite effective and catchy.
I know that they were trying to do American Idol. Yeah. Like, they were trying to make a competition about something. And I'm like, okay, this was during the age where we have, like, so many musical competition shows. Like, America's Got Talent, was it American Idol, you know.
They were trying to do their own spin on it.
They tried to do their own spin on it, and I didn't like it, to be fair.
The Fairly Idol, the episode I thought was a bit contrived because of the fact of how, like, first of all, the way that they get Cosmo Wanda to quit being Timmy's godparent is so forced.
Yes.
It really is because okay, you have Timmy spend time with Chester, and then you got this clone version of Timmy who is very mean to Cosmo Wanda. And it didn't occur to them that maybe Cosmo Wanda didn't think, this is not the Timmy we know. Maybe we should talk to him.
I don't know. It's so dumb how they kind of did it that way.
But here's what frustrates me is the fact of how when Timmy does reunite with Cosmo Wanda in Fairy World, Timmy does try to explain about how the Timmy clone was basically Norm, pretty much trying to incorporate Timmy, the clone version of Timmy, while Timmy goes on that phone with Chester. And Cosmo Wanda don't believe him for a second. Like, Cosmo Wanda, are you telling me that this mean version of Timmy is the actual Timmy? I mean, you don't see on a regular basis Timmy acting like this.
Yeah,
so why don't you believe it?
It's kind of a blatant lie.
And then Timmy just takes it. Timmy's just like, oh, actually, no, it's just me. I'm just like, Timmy, you could have done the effort in trying to come up with evidence to prove that actually wasn't you.
There's just a lot of, like, kind of loopholes and stuff that kind of makes this show kind of make the movie like meh to say, because like it was okay, musical numbers aside, character representation aside, it was just more of like, why is it writing like this? Why did it come to be like this?
This is why I'm not a fan of Fairly Idol. Yeah, the musical numbers are great and catchy, but that's all there is to it.
You know, this is during the time when it also dipped too. So like they try to make something where the Fairly Oddparents end up doing really well. Like try to make it like look relevant again with another special, and it didn't work out in the end.
What a coincidence. I think the time is pure coincidence.
It's just more of like it continues to slip for the Fairly Oddparents there.
I will say though, the Sanderson rap and also Give Me the Wand.
Give Me the Wand was a good.
Give Me the Wand.
Good job, Norm Macdonald. Yeah, and then also an American Idol winner did also star in the Fairy Idol too, because I remember Cosmo voicing the freaking singer. The singer voiced Cosmo when he was singing too. Yeah, I'm like, God damn it. Either way, like Fairly Oddparents has been quite an adventure to say. it had its peak with Timmy Turner doing well in the first, second season of the show. And then it just kept on going deeper and deeper into a hole where it's just like, why do we need to keep watching this show?
It has its highs, it has its lows, but we still hold these memories of Fairly Odd Parents dear to our hearts.
Yes. Here's the thing about what's going on now. Timmy's done. He's probably 18 now, as from a certain live action show. Cosmo and Wanda are with people, and look, at the moment right now, as Fairly Odd Parents pretty much ended, Fairly Odd Parents continued on with so many other spin-offs, where Cosmo and Wanda still are a relevant character to say, right?
Yeah.
It just thinks that they were in stupid shows like what was it, the Fairly Odder show, or
don't get me started.
Or even the freaking like spin-off like Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odd Summer, Fairly Odd Winter, Christmas movies that they were also into as well.
Like the name of Fairly Odd Parents was already tarnished by the dip of the original series alone. You don't need to have the live action movies and live action show to add insult to injury, because that's what it did.
Yeah, that's what happened. But Cosmo and Wanda was still like a relevant character to say. And you're kind of thinking like, oh, look, it's 2020. They made this stupid, live action show that didn't feel relevant to me. Oh, wow, these two siblings have Cosmo and Wanda. What are they going to do? Ooh, make things better for their lives. Yeah, that was a stupid show. It kind of ruined everything for the Fairly Odd Parents. You're thinking that it's done, right? You're not going to expect any more Fairly Odd Parents. That is until 2024 happens and we finally get to see A New Wish.
Yes.
So
let's go.
I remember when we first talked about A New Wish, you didn't like it. Or sorry, I didn't like it. You said something about...
I was open to it. I will admit that when it was first announced, like from the promo images alone, I groaned at the idea of a new Fairly Odd Parents show because, well, let's face it, the Fairly Odd Parents name is already tarnished, already dead, already milked right to the bone. You don't need more Fairly Odd Parents. But as I read the synopsis, as I got to know the characters by reading the information about it, I actually grew more open-minded towards the show. I'm just like, okay, I'll give it a chance. Because it does have a relatable premise with Hazel moving to a new city and also her coping with her brother moving to another city for college. I've dealt with it myself, so I could relate. And so when I read the info, I've been curious about it. I was hoping to be good. I really was.
Do you think because of the whole groaning and the complaining that people were having when it comes to the New Wish is because of what was happening with the Fairly Odd Parents before? Because I feel like it was all relevant towards everybody's first reaction saying, oh, this is going to suck. Oh, I don't like this character. Oh, this looks ugly. You know, that kind of thing.
I've actually heard mixed reactions about it. I would say that it was mostly negative because of how, like... Of course, there's more Fairly Odd Parents, even though Fairly Odd Parents has already been tarnished and milk dried to the bone. And also, I think they were unimpressed by how the promo clips looked. They felt it looked unfinished, but then again, it hasn't been polished yet.
The promo clips had like Hazel looked like a very big-mouthed Timmy Turner to say.
Yeah, I think that's what turned off most viewers, but I was one of those that still was open.
You're actually kind of interested. It was kind of interesting how you went, because I remember like me complaining to you saying like, hey, I don't think this show is going to go well. I think this is going to be another buzz, like everybody else was saying too.
But lo and behold, thankfully I didn't listen to you and checked it out for myself.
Well, you did listen to everybody on the internet too, because like I just remember so many people like complaining on Twitter saying like, this is going to be a buzz. This is going to suck, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's a grand majority of people that are already turned off by it, not going to see it at all. I was in the minority that was willing to give it a chance. While I was still, the best way I can describe it is cautiously optimistic. Like, I was one of those that's like, okay, there's a chance it may turn out decent. There's a chance it may suck. Who knows? But I'm willing to give it a chance.
Yeah, and I must say though, like, you know, I was kind of like really in the heavy side of like saying, I don't think I'm going to see this show any longer. But as the show actually debuted in April of 2024, that's when everybody started to actually say, oh my God, I think we were wrong. They thought this show was, everyone thinks that this show was just absolutely a gem. And to be fair, I think when I first, when I saw these episodes of the Fairly Odd Parents New Wish, I was like, I think we really pressed the reset button on this one, did we? Because this is on a whole different story, because Cosmo and Wanda are retired. They're supposed to be humans, to say. No more Timmy Turner. He's gone. This is just all about life after the Fairly Odd Parents timeline. This is pretty much them in a new city called Philadelphia. And again, Cosmo and Wanda is just out there just having fun, being retired until Hazel started to become their Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, so this is a sequel series. Like, it may feel like a reboot series, but really, it's actually a sequel
I think that's the
series.
thing about it. Like, we're thinking like it's another reboot series. Oh, great, it's another. I don't think Hazel's gonna be the next Timmy Turner or something like that.
But no, it turns out to be an actual sequel series, considering the fact that it takes place many years after the original series, and it is a very well done sequel series, even at that. Because, oh my god, not only is it good, it's amazing, and dare I say it, it's even better than the original. It's even better than the original.
I'm assuming it's just because Hazel is much better than Timmy. Well, I don't know. You guys decide. Is Hazel better than Timmy? Because I have a feeling she is better than Timmy.
In my opinion, yes. Hot take: Hazel over Timmy.
Because Timmy, I think, was just taking advantage of the Fairly Odd Pair of like Cosmo and Wanda, because like he just does it for his own personal like gain to say. While Hazel does the same thing as well, but at the same time, like it's so different how she grants her wishes. Right?
Yeah, I think the difference between Hazel and Timmy is that the thing with Timmy Turner, the biggest flaw that I have with Timmy is how he overindulges in his selfish wishes.
He definitely does. I mean, there's always many episodes where you get to see Timmy continue to wish constantly, continue to wish stupidly.
Yeah.
Also, and I'm like, Timmy, this isn't like you. I get it. Like, you're a 10-year-old kid, but like, I don't like the way that he grants wishes to Cosmo and Wanda compared to Hazel. Because when I look at Hazel, like, she's kind, she's precious, she's like a really nice kid, she's not like a jerk like Timmy or something like that. And I'm thinking like, okay, maybe Hazel could be better off with Cosmo and Wanda. And to be fair, Cosmo and Wanda are actually happy with Hazel. So,
well, here's the thing. The thing with Hazel's personality is that like granting selfish wishes isn't necessarily a bad thing in of itself, but it's how you balance it out with more selfless and good-hearted wishes.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been episodes where like she's trying to be helpful. For example, like I remember watching this one episode of Fairly Oddparents' New Wish where she tried to help Jasmine of her fears. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she takes the fears away from Jasmine at the same time. She also has to do something where Jasmine has to face her fears, you know?
I think what makes Hazel such an amazing character is how well balanced her wishes are. Like, it's a nice balance of helpful, selfless wishes along with her selfish ones. Like, there are a few times where she was selfish herself. Like, she wants to win that science fair, and so she grants a wish for this potato
although
science project.
Although she bends the laws of science.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hazel's wishes weren't always done out of the kindness of her heart or intent to help others. There are a few times where her wishes were to help herself, but then she learns from it.
Yes, and that's the thing about it. Like, it's kind of the same thing like we did with the Fairly Oddparents with Timmy Turner. Like, what was it? He makes a wish, and then he regrets making that wish. Same thing happens with Hazel, but I feel like Hazel's is a much better like way to how do you say
it's more well balanced.
Yeah, it's more of a well balanced compared to like what Timmy had to go through.
Yeah, exactly. And also I think that Hazel, in terms of personality, they made her much more interesting than Timmy Turner because
Hazel was actually precious, okay? Yeah. Like, you can't really hate on Hazel more than Timmy. Timmy sometimes is like off and on the rails sometimes.
Like, Timmy is the theme song best described it best is that Timmy, in comparison to Hazel especially, is just your average kid that no one understands. And that's.
But then Hazel just moved into Dimmodelphia and then met Cosmo and Wanda.
And I think the core of Hazel's character is much more fleshed out than Timmy's because Hazel is shown to have this fun-loving, free-spirited, spunky personality, along with having many different interests such as rocks and manga. Oh my god, the manga episode is one of my favorites.
Okay, we're gonna discuss that later, by the way. Also, yeah, you don't really see the nerd. Well, you see the nerd side of Timmy Turner too. Like, he loves Crash Nebula, he loves Crimson Chin, you know, those kind of comic books and stuff. Hazel, on the other hand, like, look, she's a girl. She loves scary movies and manga and stuff like that. So, absolutely a different character than what Timmy was.
Yeah, indeed, and I think that this is where the series definitely excels. The series does an excellent job in not making Hazel a female version of Timmy Turner. Yeah. Because they could have easily gone that route, but no, they decided to make Hazel her own character.
No, actually, thank God, because like I feel like Hazel was a much better character than Timmy. Like, I honestly think it's that way because everything Hazel does and what Cosmo and Wanda has been doing to Hazel, there's not like too aggressive compared to what Timmy has done with Cosmo and Wanda. Mm-hmm. Like, Hazel is there, Cosmo and Wanda are going to be there with her as well, and then like whenever she wants to grant a wish, she'll grant a wish for them. And there have been times like I've watched the first 10 episodes, and the thing is, there has not been a wish that has never been granted. Like all these wishes like have followed the rules. That didn't break the rules. Because like every time Timmy always makes a wish, it breaks the rules for some reason. Like you see that the farting noise from the wand sometimes. And then Hazel doesn't actually have that a lot. Like, it tells me, like, Hazel's actually smart with her wishes.
Yeah.
She actually knows how to actually use wishes well, compared to what Timmy does, where it kind of gets out of place sometimes.
Exactly. And this is why this series is such a breath of fresh air, because of how the quality of the writing is and how well they fleshed out this Fairly OddParents protagonist in comparison to the OG Fairly OddParents protagonist.
Yeah, and you know what though? I mean, give it to Grant. I understand now why a lot of people love Hazel. Like she absolutely is precious child, honestly. Like, protect her at all costs. Don't hurt her, please. You know, that kind of thing.
Hazel's my precious cartoon daughter.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, so yeah, let's go out to the series itself and talk about The Fairly OddParents and You Wish, the best cartoon in 2024 based off our poll that we've done. Thank you everybody who voted, by the way. Now it's time for us to finally review The Fairly OddParents and You Wish, because it absolutely is kind of great.
Consider this the reward.
Yeah, this is the reward for everybody out there. Now, I have to say this. I've been watching it through Netflix, and I don't know why Netflix only gave out the 10 episodes. They don't have 20 episodes like Paramount Plus, because I cancelled my subscription. So
yeah, exactly. I feel like Netflix is really dropping the ball when it comes to this show, because it so far has released only half of season 1. We're wondering, where's the other half?
Yeah, and that's the reason why I only watched 10 episodes, because I just got into the episode where, what was it, Dev got Perry. Like, and also that's another thing also about this show too. Like, oh, I didn't know Dev was a main character. Because remember when you saw him in the first couple episodes of Fairly OddParents and You Wish, he's a jerk. Like, he keeps on misnaming Hazel all the time. He's like a rich asshole and everything, but like, there's a worse asshole that's out there too. And I'm like, oh, okay, then I guess we're going to talk about Dev. And then it turned out to be really nice to actually see Dev become like a great character and everything.
In a way, I think this show has definitely taken a page from most Disney Channel animated shows books.
Oh, like we're talking about Amity now from Fairly House.
I'm saying the way they wrote Dev, it's like they copied the notes of most Disney TVA shows. Like, Dev really does feel like a male version of Pacifica, Amity, Andrea. He does feel like that sort of character.
Are we just talking about the jerks and then having them have a nice heart and all?
The rich jerks, like the rich boys who grow hearts by the middle or end of the series with the influence of the show's protagonist.
Yeah, I still get it. Like, I love that, by the way. Like, they have actually an antagonist in the show that turned out to be a supporting character at the end, you know? It's just like what Amity did in Owl House, where you get to see Amity become mean to Luz and then lose his girlfriend in the end.
Or Pacifica, in which she was mean to Mabel, but then through the influence of Dipper Pine, she grows to have a heart.
Yeah, well, that was that one episode where also Pacifica and Dipper had to cite this ghost problem in their house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but like, that's the thing about Dev that I think really is a big focus for me, because like, again, I've only watched 10 episodes, but like, I start to get more intrigued when Dev starts being in the talking point of an episode. Like, there's been episodes where I see Dev continue to be a jerk, but at the same time, again, I do see the bigger jerk that's above him, which is his dad.
Yeah.
It kind of stinks how Dale Dibadome started off as a guy who was like homeless without his dad, literally just doing all this like lemonade stand work for Vicky.
And actually, what I like about this series is that what I like about Dale's character is that they actually do something with the character other than it just being the slave in the lemonade stand.
Yeah.
In that OG for
They're actually making some continuity. It's just that we don't ever see about the continuity that happened to him. He just ends up actually escaping from Vicky's clutches, goes back to Doug Dibadome's house, or like gets back to be his dad, and then in the end he turns out to be a big asshole. I don't know.
So I think that Dale Dimmadome, while he is an asshole, it does kind of make sense because, well, you know, spending many years underground serving Vicky's lemonade stand can really do wonders to a man's psyche. Just saying.
Yeah, you might be right about that too. It just stinks like that Dev is the son of Dale, and in the end they all end up becoming like a really wicked, like a really weird bad family to say.
And it all comes down to Doug Dimmadome on the Dale Dimmadome.
Yes, with the big tall hat and everything. Also, that's one thing I also like about the Fairly OddParents New Wish. They actually did pull some references about the Fairly OddParents, the original series. Like, you have Cosmo and Wanda, you have Jorgen von Strangle, you have Fairy World, And a bunch of more references here and there. What's kind of funny is that remember the school's mascot kind of looks familiar, don't you think?
Yeah. You cannot tell me that's not Squirrel Timmy, because it is Squirrel Timmy.
Yeah, I'm like, look, it's in the pink freaking hat, and I'm like, the face absolutely looks like Timmy Turner. I'm like, this is supposed to be their mascot?
I think that's the closest thing you'll get to a Timmy Turner cameo.
Oh, no. There's also that one guy, that little old guy that was...
Oh, yeah. There was also the one that looked like adult Timmy, but it's not adult Timmy.
People are saying that... Look, here's the thing. I think this is my little conspiracy theory here. I think that is Timmy, honestly. Because,
Really?
like, here's the thing. Remember, when you lose your Fairly Oddparents, you lose memories of Timmy Turner. So, like, the Cosmo Wanda doesn't know about Timmy Turner anymore. Timmy Turner doesn't know about his Fairly Oddparents anymore. So
I'm sorry, but I just cannot accept the fact that is an older Timmy. I much prefer.
I have a feeling it does have the shape and physique of an old Timmy Turner. Remember the first episode of Fairly Oddparents? I'm sorry, that was an older Timmy that I'm looking at right there.
I much prefer the future Timmy for Channel Chasers.
Yeah, you like him buff and all, but like
I like a buff, well shaven, handsome.
Yeah, but like I don't know, who knows what happened to his future? Because like I don't know, he's already hit that age where he's not supposed to have Fairly Oddparents anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So like I don't know what happened to him like in the future, what happened ever since the last episode of Fairly Oddparents all the way to now. So you know, it could be like him. Like I've seen so many episodes of him like randomly delivering pizza, randomly becoming a janitor in the school, and it's like that look absolutely looks like Timmy. Okay, I have a feeling they're saying it's not, but I mean I think they're joking. I'm assuming that it's Timmy.
Could it be Timmy? Could it not be Timmy? By the way, release season 2, so we'll know.
I know exactly, but
also so speaking of cameos, speaking of appearances, we also got some characters from the OG series making an appearance in one or two episodes.
Yeah, and it all happened after episode 10 because I see Crocker had an episode after that. Vicky was a part of an episode too. What is with this mad big wand, by the way? Is that also a reference to an old episode?
So the Battle of the Big Wand is pretty much a big battle between Hazel and Dev. I don't want to get into spoilers or anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so don't.
Oh man, I was hoping that you watched the
entire I couldn't because I only watched the Netflix versions and they only gave it through episode 10. I went through the episode where we get to see the big reveal of Dev having a Fairly Oddparent.
All right, so I'm gonna say this right now. I'm just gonna say this right now. Battle of the Big Wand and some of the episodes that you haven't seen really do delve more into the on and off friendship between Hazel and Dev.
Well, I know that's the thing about it too, because like I was thinking after I saw like episode 8 through 10, I was thinking like Dev and Hazel are going to become like best friends and stuff, but like it has been shaky because like in the end of episode 10. Hazel hated Dev again because Dev called him, anatomy or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's why Hazel hated Dev. Dev is now feeling more miserable. It's the reason why Dev ended up getting a Fairly Oddparent.
Yeah. Ended up becoming a parent in the first place, which lo and behold is Perry.
I didn't understand. I didn't realize it too because remember we have never. I did say this before in our episode that we have never seen Poof in a while, even in the last episodes of the Fairly Oddparents. So our question is, what happened to Poof? It turned out he was doing his own thing, and he now became a Fairly Oddparent too.
Perry is Poof all grown up, and I'm gonna say this right now, they did Poof justice. They did him extremely well. He's no longer just a baby plot device. No, he's actually a full-fledged character. Like, he has a personality to him.
He's better than Cookie, that's all I can say.
Oh, don't get me started on Cookie. Cookie was annoying. Cookie was so annoying. Like, she felt like a Kardashian character.
Yeah, because I remember, like, I thought it was just, she was supposed to be original Hazel's Fairly Oddparent, right?
Yeah, she was, but thankfully she wasn't.
Yeah, thankfully she wasn't. Cosmo Wanda ended up becoming the original Fairly Oddparents for Hazel. It's just that Cookie wanted revenge or something like that. They literally put them through what was it, like Law and Order, like court or something like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy, like how Cookie came out of nowhere and said like, I want to sue them. Cosmo ended up actually revealing himself. All right, get them out so that they get arrested or something like that.
And I'm just like, she's kind of a weak villain, and her jokes didn't exactly land, and so I thought, okay, like she may not be the worst Fairly Oddparents character all around. That dishonor goes to Sparky still, but Cookie is a close second.
She's just a sassy Fairly Oddparent. Come on now.
Like, she's a sassy Fairly Oddparent, but I just didn't find her all that entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, I think if anything, like I don't think we're gonna expect to see her anymore anyways. So there's that. Another thing that kind of intrigued me was the fact that the continuity that happens in the show, because there actually are references to old episodes. Like you get to see the old dinosaur back, you get to see like Trashy back. Yeah, just if anything, it does give off like good vibes, saying like there's continuity in the show.
Exactly, and the Battle of the Big One really does an excellent job of continuity by having some of Hazel's wishes come play a role in the climax.
That's interesting. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's the reason why we want to have a second season, because like it's kind of cool. Like they kind of did a wrap up of season 1 with a final episode like that.
Oh, they wrapped it up so well. And there's actually this one running funny gag at the end of season 1 where you have Perry breaking the fourth wall saying, "Hey, make a season 2."
I saw that clip too.
I was like, I agree 100%, Perry.
I love the fact that Perry just comes out of nowhere, just like goes off the screen and just says, "Hey, what the heck? We want to continue with the story. Let's take a season."
When one of your characters tells you on screen, like, breaking the fourth wall, make a second season, you better make a second season.
Yeah, and we have not had any word back ever since. Nickelodeon, what are you doing? No, I mean, again, that's great that they did that too. Again, continuity was just kind of great. I mean, the fact that like some stuff from the old episodes of not old episodes, but more like episodes of A New Wish do come back in later episodes of New Wish, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. Also, another thing too is that they actually mix 2D and 3D animation. Like, it's interesting because like pictures are 2D styled. The title card is 2D styled. There's so many like things that are like 2D styled compared to like, and then mix it up with the animation that is the characters at the moment. They're like 3D, 2D style animation. Like, what's your thoughts on like that kind of way they're making the Fairly Oddparents now?
So this is pretty much a fully 3D animation style, but there are some 2D animation elements to it that do incorporate into the show very well. It's definitely a stylized 3D animation. It sort of reminds me a little bit of the Peanuts movie, where it's
it kind of does.
Where it's very experimental with its 3D animation by combining most of the 3D animation along with some 2D elements in it, especially the reminiscence to the comic strips, the reference to the comic strips. Here, though, it's a similar case where they make the 3D animation style capture the same spirit as the 2D animation style in the OG series by having the animation style be similar but more fleshed out. And it does incorporate full-on 2D animation style in some parts, especially the title cards.
Mm-hmm. No, the title cards definitely, because I just keep on seeing like the old style of what the Fairly Oddparents was in the original series. Like, oh, this is how Hazel looks like if she was actually animated like in the OG Fairly Oddparents style.
Yeah,
you know, I just do love the new animation style. It does look, it is such a breath of fresh air seeing really the characters be like this, especially Cosmo and Wanda, because we continue to grow up with Cosmo and Wanda, and them looking like that. It's obviously different, but at the same time, it's still the same. It's still the same Cosmo and Wanda we know.
I mean, at least the Cosmo and Wanda that was present in the first 2 seasons of Fairly Oddparents, it was before Cosmo and Wanda got hella flanderized in the later seasons. Like, Cosmo is no longer just the painful, stupid moron. The Cosmo
still kind of is.
I mean, Cosmo is still an idiot, but he's an endearing kind of idiot where he does have his smart moments here and there.
I don't know about that.
And whereas with Wanda, she's no longer a nagging woman. She's actually quite a fun-loving kind of woman.
Also, the other thing too, they don't really focus on the Fairly Oddparents a lot. Like, yes, Cosmo and Wanda are going to be there for Hazel, but Hazel is the one that's doing most of the dialogue now. Mm-hmm. Like, she's the one talking a lot. She's the one that's like hanging out with her friends, and Cosmo and Wanda is just going to be there just to grant the wishes. That's it. Versus the first series of Fairly Oddparents, where Cosmo and Wanda had to be with Timmy Turner and has to like help him out in so many situations.
Yeah, the thing is with Cosmo, the comparison between the two is that Timmy had to rely more on Cosmo and Wanda to carry his episodes more than Hazel did, because there are certain scenarios, there are some key moments in which Hazel didn't need Cosmo or Wanda when she had the support of her friends and family. Because the thing you got to keep in mind is that unlike Timmy's parents, Hazel's parents are actually very loving parents.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, thankfully they actually have parents thankfully Hazel has parents and a brother that actually does care for her a whole lot. And I actually do appreciate that because like we don't care about Timmy Turner's mom or Timmy Turner's dad. They literally are called Timmy's mom and dad.
Yeah. Whereas with this, they at least have actual names like her mom's name is Angela and her dad's name is Marcus.
Yeah, and it tells you that we do care for the parents, and the parents actually do have like some specific roles. I mean, the mom actually did have an episode where Hazel had to grow up and actually be her assistant.
Yeah.
That I thought was a pretty funny episode, even though it wasn't her daughter, they still had the mother-daughter bond that Hazel was looking for so long.
Yeah, and as for Marcus, he's actually fascinated by supernatural elements, and
So that's why he's into fairies. He ain't no Crocker though, but still.
he's pretty much a good version of Crocker.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't go insane, go evil, go in crazy about it. He's just fascinated by supernatural elements, and that's what makes him such an endearing character, is that he's really smart, but he could be a bit clumsy at the same time as well. Like, he sort of reminds me of Carlos Casagrande a little bit.
I never saw that way though.
Because of the same style of glasses, the same kind of uniform.
Yeah, but he ain't like a very fact-checking person because he always talks about like, did you know this? Did you know that? Like what Carlos does.
But he's kind of like the dorky, smart guy.
Yeah, he's dorky, but he's not like as dorky as Carlos. I think Carlos is kind of really more of the genius type person there.
I think that's kind of the difference, is that like Carlos is into science, whereas Marcus is into supernatural elements.
Yeah, see, there's a little difference between both of them there. But no, I mean, I think sorry, we lost topic. What are we talking about? Animation style?
Yeah,
how did it turn to characters now?
I think it's a good way to incorporate the characters into this, because the characters are what do help elevate the style of the animation.
Well, I mean, if anything, again, like, I do love the mix between the 2D animation style and 3D animation style, because, like, the 3D animation style was all about the characters. The 2D animation style was definitely in the background. Like, I remember the episode where they had a dinosaur episode. I remember, like, the characters are still 3D-ish, like, and then you see the whole, like, artwork in the background, right? They're all 2D animated style. And I'm like, oh, this looks like something from the old Fairly Oddparents, huh?
Yeah, it may seem a bit uncanny when you consider the fact of how 2D and 3D animation don't blend that way.
But it actually works in this episode.
But when you look closely, when you consider, like, especially if you're a fan of the OG Fairly Oddparents, it all comes together and all makes sense for you.
Yeah, and also, like, I mean, come on. The fact that they actually put, again, the whole... they put the sign for their logo when it comes to the school, and again, Timmy Turner being the squirrel. Come on now.
Squirrel Timmy is a mascot.
Again, I'm really bringing up that theory that Timmy Turner is in that world. I just don't know how it's going to be, because I'm pretty sure Cosmo and Wanda can't figure out Timmy Turner anymore.
Could it be that adult Timmy, during his janitorial work, decided to come up to the principal and gave the principal an idea of the character design for mascot, and said, hey, that looks like a squirrel version of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, something like that. I can't wait for an episode where we get to see the janitor meet up with, like, Cosmo and Wanda in their human form.
Yeah, and then Cosmo and Wanda look at this janitor and be like, you look familiar. Do we know you?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see it happen. Season 2.
Here's the thing. Like, again, they don't have any memories about it. I know about this. This is the Fairly Oddparents law. Like, once they grow up and they're not your Fairly Oddparents anymore, the memories of them are gone.
Yeah, this is how it is. That's according to the rules.
And this is the reason why Cosmo and Wanda don't know about Timmy. That's the reason why, like, they go through this, like, 1,000-year vacation, and in the end they become Hazel's Fairly Oddparents. So,
which is exactly why it makes sense of how everything in A New Wish takes place years after the OG series.
Well, in my case, I think it's like 10 years or something.
Sort of like that.
Okay, so we did talk about how the animation is and how the series is so far. Let's talk about our favorite characters, because there's a lot of amazing characters in the show, from Hazel to Cosmo and Wanda. We did talk about Dev a little bit, and I think Dev, again, thankfully he has Perry, because both of them are going to become like a great dynamic duo together. And the fact that, like, dude, Hazel, Dev, yes, they're friends, and then they have Fairly Oddparents together, and they're a family.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. are we looking at a Hazel Dev possible ship for us?
And I like the dynamic between Dev and Perry, because Perry is the father that Dev needed that he never got from Dale. Like, Perry does serve as Dev's father figure very well.
I know, and my thing is, like, Hazel and Dev, like, I know they're trying to mend their friendship and stuff like that, but I have a feeling there could be more than that.
I'm gonna go that
no,
far.
You don't want to do that, really? There's a lot of people that love Hazel and Dev together.
I like Hazel and Dev as great friends for now.
It could be just like Illumity before.
I want to see how they develop that relationship.
I know. Wait till second season or stuff like that. But, like, come on, like, you know that friendship was actually pretty cool. But I mean, the fact that Perry is actually the Fairly Odd Parent to Cosmo and Wanda, who were their son. Come on, they're supposed to be meant together because all the Fairly Odd Parents are together, and then why not have the God Kids together?
I mean, that would mean that not only are Perry, Cosmo, and Wanda parents and son, but they're also fairly odd in-laws.
What do you mean by that?
Fairly odd in-laws. To say, like, Dev and Hazel do get married, wouldn't that make Perry and Cosmo?
Well, to be fair, when they get married, there will not be any Fairly Odd Parents. There won't be any Fairly Odd Parents for them.
That is true. So Fairly Odd in-laws in spirit.
In spirit. If they become like a relationship, that'd be sick. That'd be really cute, actually, to have Hazel and Dev become a relationship. But, like, yeah, when the time comes that they get older and don't need Fairly Odd Parents, that's when they have to kick the boot, and then Perry, Cosmo, and Wanda will probably not know them anymore. So, yeah.
I just want to see, because this is the biggest reason why I say we need a second season, because there's so much to explore. There's so much to explore in terms of these characters and the world building.
We did talk about the fairies a little bit, but the only fairies that we were seeing are only those 5. What was it? Cosmo, Wanda, Perry, and then there's other 2 of them, Cookie and Jorgen von Strangle. Like, is that all the fairies that we can actually get from this show? Because I know we had so many fairies that came out from Fairly Odd Parents.
Should I give out a spoiler character for you?
Is it IREP?
It's IREP.
Yeah, it's IREP. Yeah, I seen him too, and I'm like, oh god, we have the anti fairy of Perry too.
Yeah, he's no longer Foop. He's IREP.
Is it? Do we have anti Cosmo and Wanda too as well? Or?
Anti Cosmo and Wanda do have a role in it too.
Oh
as
god.
Well. So the anti fairies are back as well.
Oh really? Okay. Yeah. Damn it.
So chaos ensues, especially in the Battle of the Big Wand.
Oh, so they actually come back there. I see.
Yeah, and also IREP does make an appearance in an episode before Battle of the Big One as well. You'll see later.
I mean, I've seen some clips already about like how IREP came back, and he's like trying to like destroy, like not to really destroy, but like more like I want to ruin these kids or something like that, right?
Yeah, like it all comes back to Battle of the Big One being such an epic season finale.
Besides that, Cookie, again, we discussed about her. Yeah, she's a sassy, Fairly Odd Parent that wants to get Hazel back. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see her for much longer. She is in jail, so...
Yeah, hope it stays that way.
Also, Jorgen von Strangle, he's back. Is he supposed to be a retired Fairly Odd Parent, too? Like... Because he has the beard, and he has the shorts, and all that jazz. He is also fit in everything, but... His role is absolutely diminished compared to the original OG series.
I think that Jorgen von Strangle is still the toughest bear in the universe that we know. I do like the fact of how Jorgen von Strangle is back to his old original form in the first 3 seasons of Fairly Odd Parents, where he was the tough, badass, strong fairy. I think
but he's still a silly kind of guy though. Like he freaking goes in the bathtub looking at donkeys. I'm like.
The thing with the silliness is that they at least keep his silliness to a minimum. They know when to use his goofy side sparingly. Because my biggest problem with Jorgen in the later Fairly Odd Parents seasons is that they flanderized Jorgen to a point where him being goofy, him being silly is his primary character. And that's not who Jorgen von Strangle is primarily. He does have a silly side to him, but it's mostly his strong serious side that overshadows his.
Is this a reason why we don't see him a lot in the first season of Fairly Odd Parents Newish? Because we only see him from the way I saw it, I only see him twice. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more involved in the later half of the season. Right?
He does appear in more episodes. A few more down the line. He appears in the season 1 finale, by the way.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm assuming the season 1 finale is everybody's involved. Okay, I have a feeling that's probably it.
not everybody. There's most characters, but not everybody makes an appearance in season finale.
Nonetheless, it's going to be huge with all the Fairly Odd Parents that are going to be there. But I'm just saying, like, the way Jorgen von Strangle is, he feels like it is true. It is true that I'm seeing the older version of Jorgen. He is still strong. He is the toughest fairy in the universe. But, like, there's something about him where it's like, there really is not much importance for him, right? Like, I don't think there's anything big for him. It's all about Cosmo and Wanda now.
Yeah, see, unlike the later seasons of Fairly Odd Parents, they knew when to use Jorgen sparingly. They knew when to incorporate Jorgen into an episode when he plays an essential role.
Yeah. So that's my thing about Jorgen. Like, I don't think I really care for him as much compared to the other fairies that are currently out right now. So I can't wait for the anti-fairies. I can't wait to see how they become, considering like it's been forever since I see anti-Cosmo and Wanda now. So how about Hazel's friends? You have Jasmine and Wynn.
Jasmine and Wynn are definitely really good friends to Hazel. They do share that chemistry with Hazel. They do feel like a BFF trio. I just remember Wynn turned out to be like the very popular character for the whole entire school. I know they like, how you say, they like skated all the way into school, and then everybody like starry-eyed on them, and then Hazel wants Wynn to be their friend. Yeah. So non-binary representation, by the way.
I know. That's why I said they. So
yeah. Wynn does play, and I like how Wynn plays a much more bigger role than he did before that hotel episode, because before the hotel episode he was just a typical cool kid, but no, like after the hotel episode
did you just say they, by the way? Yeah,
they were pretty much like the typical cool kid, but then after the hotel episode they were shown to be in Hazel's circle.
Yeah. So Wynn is going to be in Hazel's circle. This is great, but Jasmine, I feel like, has more of an importance with Hazel because it is her first friend. Like, Hazel's first ever, like, best friend to say. Like, they were supposed to do sleepovers together. They were supposed to watch scary movies together. And I like that friendship between Jasmine and Wynn. Yeah. Like, I think that's a really great group for Hazel to go through. But from the way I'm seeing it, they're not important, honestly.
Like, Jasmine and Wynn are basically the Chester and AJ of a new age.
Yeah. But then everyone was focused on Dev. Like, Dev is more of the big focus compared to Hazel. Like, in the mid-season special, with the Founders Day thing, they were not even there in the episode. Like, there's even some of the secondary characters in school appeared besides Wynn and Jasmine.
Yeah, I think one minor issue I do have with A New Wish, it doesn't damage the series all that much. I think there's if there's one thing that the series could fix is give Jasmine and Wynn more prominent, significant roles other than being Hazel's BFFs.
Because at the moment right now they only have small roles. There's not that big is going on with them. Like, they're hanging out with Hazel. They give Hazel some advice here and there. Yeah, but that's it. Like, there's nothing big of an importance going on. The only thing that I think is important was Jasmine's fear thing, that episode. When Hazel wishes for Jasmine's fears to be gone, and then she has to face with them.
One of the best episodes of the show. By the way.
Exactly. But that's it. Like, everything else, no Wynn episode, no other Jasmine episode. Is just okay. I guess they're just background characters.
Yeah, and the thing is, Jasmine and Wynn are such lovable characters. They're really endearing kids. They deserve better than that. And
I really hope they do so in the second season and all. But that pretty much is all the characters that come up for A New Wish. I did talk about I did talk about not AJ. AJ was there for 1 second. I did see Crocker. We did see Vicky. If anything, good references back to the OG series.
Yeah, and Crocker and Vicky do play primary roles as antagonists in their own episodes. Vicky played a prominent role in Operation Birthday Takeback, and Mr. Crocker played a prominent role in Croc to the Future.
Mm-hmm. So let's actually talk about our favorite episodes now. And obviously the first episode I want to bring up is the Fly episode, because come on, it's the first episode we get to see Hazel, being miserable, missing her brother, and then they meet up with their neighbors, Cosmo and Wanda, and then out of all nowhere, Cosmo and Wanda become their Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, and it turned out to be chaotic because like she was a fly, and then she's trying her best to like run away from the Fairly Odd Parents. In the end, she has to be with the Fairly Odd Parents in order to get back to be human.
I mean, you got to put that episode in because it's a significant episode. It's the pilot episode, so of course
it's a pilot episode indeed. So I think that definitely was a great episode to start off with, to see how Hazel is, how she ends up being so miserable that she needed Fairly Odd Parents, and how Cosmo and Wanda became their Fairly Odd Parents to say.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good episode. You brought up the manga episode.
One of the best, and it's for more, and it's because I have a bias. Yeah, as a manga,
you motherfucking weeb.
as a low-key manga collector myself, I find myself appreciating Prime Meridian Love because, hey, I can relate to Hazel because I read manga myself, so yay.
Also, she's into like some romantic things too, so it's kind of crazy like how she wished him off the manga, and the animation style was definitely an anime style because like the whole lip syncing was all anime style.
Yeah, she brings a manga character to life, and I think to myself, okay, if I were to get a fairy godparent, that would be the first thing that I would do: bring a manga character to life.
Oh no! Don't tell me you're gonna bring like what? Who's your waifu then?
I wish to bring Nami Swan back to life. Nami Swan.
Oh, you should probably be Zoro now.
Or Rukia Kuchiki.
Oh god.
Or anything like that.
I'll bring Rem back, okay? Rem. Weirdo.
But in all seriousness, though, it really does. Primary Radiant Love does relate to anime and manga fans because we were all fixated on our fictional characters.
I actually enjoyed that episode. Also, the fact that like Dev is actually a big time manga fan himself. So.
And the principal, even the strict principal, is a Primary Radiant Love fan herself.
Yeah. If anything, there's some secrets between like some of the side characters in the show.
So I like how the episode demonstrates that even adults are into this sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Just like we are. We're adults. We're the type of people who would get into Primary Radiant Love.
Oh yeah. I mean, maybe more of the Bishojin girls though. They love those. They love those kind of
shoujo
manga
fans. Right?
Yeah, they definitely love those manga. You also did put up Lost in Founders Day, which is the mid-season episode. This is where I want to say Hazel and Dev's friendship started that day because they did break it off in the end.
They broke it off in the end, and
they didn't actually start it there. There was a couple episodes before that actually started their friendship, like the scavenger hunt. Yeah, the scavenger hunt episode was I think the start of it all for Hazel and Dev.
But Lost in Founders Day is where like Hazel and Dev, as much as they try to come to a mutual understanding, Hazel and Dev's friendship once again continues to break off. Like I said, it's an on and off friendship between the two.
Mm-hmm. Again, it said something about how Lost in Founders Day. I did love that episode just because like it talks about Hazel becoming addicted to hats. Yeah, that was one thing. And then also we get to see the relationship of Dev and his dad, and it's just terrible because his dad is such a jerk. He cares more about money and his company more than his son. And then you get to see like how Dev gets miserable because like you get to see Hazel not friend Dev anymore, and then he's just wallowing in his bed, and then you get to see what happens where he said he feels so miserable. Then Perry comes out of nowhere and now becomes his Fairly Odd Parent.
Now, this isn't the first time that a Fairly Oddparents series has tackled that sort of character in which it's a rich boy who is neglected by his rich parents, and so he relies on his fairy godparent, or rather fairy godfather, to help bring happiness to his life. If y'all remember Remy Bucks Aplenty.
Oh, I hate that guy. He's worse, honestly.
Now, Remy Bucks Aplenty was a sympathetic character at one point, but the problem is that they made Remy's character so inconsistent in how his interactions with Timmy were.
Also, he was such a huge secondary character. Like, he never gets referenced a lot. Like, he'll come up out of nowhere to be Timmy's rival, and then Dev was supposed to be written off as Hazel's rival, to be fair. Like, the first episodes, I was thinking about it that way, just because Dev continues to be like a jerk to Hazel. And then in the end, we get to see Hazel and Dev actually start to become a friendship. It's great. It isn't like that what happened with the Fairly Oddparents, where you can see Timmy and Remy actually start to become friends. No, that didn't turn out to be that way.
Yeah, see, I think that Dev Dimmadome is how you fix Remy Bucks Aplenty, because you at least kept his character consistent, and the character changes he goes through is natural. It's organic.
To be frank, it has been years since they referenced Remy at all. So it made sense why these new writers who made A New Wish say, hey, we have another new rich guy out here. I think we should do something better with this person.
Yeah.
So
I would say like Def is Remy done better.
It's like how they ended up getting Juanísimo.
Juanísimo.
Yeah, how Juanísimo ended up going with Remy, how Perry ended up going with Dev, but at the same time, it's a much better Fairly Odd Parent than a freaking hot guy like Juanísimo. So
who happens to be Wanda's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't want to go deep into that now. You also did put out Croc to the Future. This is the episode where Mr. Crocker and AJ actually make an appearance. Again, I just saw AJ just have like a 1-second appearance. There wasn't really anything big for him. Well, Mr. Crocker is the main focus of the show.
But AJ at least gets something, and it makes me think, are they going to have a Chester appearance in the future? Maybe a Chester cameo?
You know what? Why not an Elmer appearance or a Trixie Tang appearance, or
It makes me wonder, does Elmer still have that boil?
I think it might be something, I don't know, he might just make it an icon for himself. I don't know. I mean, look, we're continuing with Dale Dimmadome, and Dale Dimmadome is still going to be like a prominent character in A New Wish, it looks like. Who knows what these other characters that grow up are going to be, like AJ becoming successful, Chester maybe becoming a best baseball player like his dad, or really really bad one like his dad. I don't know. But again, Mr. Crocker continues to be the same old Mr. Crocker. Like he's still obsessed with Fairly Odd Parents, and it's it's just something that that he always does. It's just awesome to see that original character continue to be a part of the show. So.
Yeah, and also I like the callbacks to when Cosmo and Wanda even say in dialogue that we know Crocker, he used to torment our last God Kid, and then we were his last God Kid.
What?
And then we were his last God Kid before our last God Kid.
Oh my gosh.
Because if you remember, Cosmo and Wanda were originally Mr. Crocker's Fairly Godparents.
That's right.
Before they were Timmy's godparents.
That's right. Oh God, this is going to be so...
So this is something of a... it comes in full circle sort of thing.
So yeah, that was also a pretty funny episode. You also get to see... you also put down Rattletonda Racers. This is where you actually see Hazel and Anthony actually reunite for the first time.
So basically you see Hazel and Anthony. Of course, Anthony's coming to visit, and then Hazel wants to make sure she spends as much time with him, and so he wishes for Cosmo and Wanda to get Hazel and Anthony to get sucked into this one board game called Rattledonna Racers, where chaos ensues and where Hazel learns her lesson in trying to accept that Anthony has his own life at college, but the sibling love is still intact.
Oh, that's cute. Aww.
Yeah, it's just a touching sibling episode between them.
I mean, I would make sense because Hazel absolutely loves Anthony, and I remember her absolutely hating the fact that he moved to college. Yeah. And that she's so miserable and stuff like that. The reason why she ended up getting Cosmo and Wanda.
It makes Hazel feel alone. It makes Hazel feel small. But thank goodness that Cosmo, Wanda, Jasmine, and Wynn came into her life. And she feels stronger, bigger than ever before.
Indeed. There's also this episode that you also put down called Operation Birthday Take Back, which is also the first episode we get to see Vicky back in A New Wish.
Yeah, so how this episode goes is that she's basically does a birthday princess kind of service where she's Princess Vicky, because during that time it's Dev's birthday.
Is she still a bully?
Oh, she's still evil.
Oh, God damn it. I thought she had a change of heart, but it's not the case.
In fact, she's actually worse than before, because there's that one point in which she makes the kids who attend Dev's birthday, she makes them do labor work.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, it kind of reminds me of what Timmy went through with this babysitter.
So, yeah.
Wait. So, did Dev actually had a babysitter with Vicky? Is that what was going on?
No, what happens is that Dev... so his dad, Dale, has pretty much arranged some sort of like birthday princess service for Dev's birthday. And so what happened is that here's where Princess Vicky comes into play. And later on, she reveals to be her evil self. And that's what ruins the fun of Dev and the kids. And so Hazel, Dev, Jasmine, and Wynn decide to fight back against Vicky. And the way they do it is just so fun to watch. And it's especially helped by the fact of how, as they defeat Vicky, the Icky Vicky song comes out where it's like, C-K-Y, the sound of her name makes little kids cry.
Oh, God, I remember that episode too. Yeah. Oh, God. Where's Joey Fatone? Oh no, it wasn't Joey Fatone. What's another guy? Chris Kirkpatrick. Yeah, that was him who did Chip Skylark.
Yeah, Chip Skylark. Yeah. Hey, Vicky.
Okay. We get it. We get the song. We know what the song is. Yes.
But yeah, Vicky really does have fun with the role, and it's especially found out Grey Griffin does have fun with the role as Vicky.
Because she's the original Vicky.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy because she's also the principal too. So it's like, I can hear the both voices all at the same time watching the show now.
Yeah, no matter what, Grey Delisle does a great job at voicing an evil woman in a Fairly Oddparents universe.
Yeah, don't know how, but she continues to do that. It's great. You also did put down Stuck in My Head, which is where Jasmine and Wynn travel inside Hazel's head. Wait, how did that happen? Because Hazel is the fairy god kid. How did Jasmine and Wynn get in?
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. This is quite possibly my favorite episode besides the Battle of the Big Wand and Operation Birthday Takeback, possibly, because of the fact of how... So Stuck in My Head is basically Hazel, Jasmine, and Wynn take this friendship test, and it turns out that they failed epically. And so Hazel wishes for Cosmo Wanda to wish Jasmine and Wynn to get inside Hazel's head so that Jasmine and Wynn get to know Hazel better. And so what happens is that we do get to see some sort of like, it's sort of like a Inception sort of episode where they do delve into Hazel's mind. And so what happens is that it's pretty much everything that goes on in Hazel's head. And so she fabricates everything that is in Hazel's mind, like her being a poetic artist and all that stuff. And then here comes this evil brain worm that pretty much says negative things to Hazel and about Hazel. And it's such a huge brain worm. And it's something that Hazel mentally struggles with because it's a brain worm that echoes all the negative thoughts that Hazel has about herself. And so...
Is it supposed to be like Hazel's bad thoughts?
Yeah. So it pretty much gives a positive message about positive thinking and about how we have to use our positive thoughts and our positive minds to
kill the worm. To kill the worm.
Not kill the worm, because the worm represents the negative thinking, but it's more like to make the worm smaller and smaller, because the worm represents the negative thinking that each and every human being goes through. And that really stuck with me because there were times where that sort of brain worm, I struggle with myself. Like, I struggle with negative thinking. So that episode really hits me.
Okay, that's actually a really interesting episode. The fact that it's like a mental thing.
Which it really delves into mental health.
It's really good for the writers too, because you never expect them to actually make something like this out of all places.
It's such a strong episode. It is a strongly written episode with a powerful message about mental health and how positive thinking can empower negative thinking.
For sure, indeed. And of course, they have the season 1 finale, the Battle of the Big Wand. Again, don't really break down everything that goes on to that episode because, again, I would imagine it being epic. You already did tell me that all the things from season 1 did get referenced into this particular episode. And it turns out to be like a big battle or something, right?
It all comes into full circle. And you know what? To do you a huge favor, I won't go into much more detail to that. But yes, Battle of the Big Wand was such a epic finale.
You know what, though? I mean, like I said, Netflix has to release all these episodes, I swear to God, but they never do. I don't know what. They only have to have episodes that came out. I don't have Paramount Plus, so I don't know.
We're halfway through 2025, and those episodes have still yet to be released.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
But it's on Paramount Plus, the rest of the season, but I don't have it because I canceled my subscription to that, so... I guess I can't watch it unless you put it on Nickelodeon, but you can't do that for some reason.
Or you can always resubscribe to Paramount Plus just to watch the remaining Oddparents you wish.
I guess I could. I don't know. So at the moment right now, Fairly Oddparents and You Wish is pretty much has finished season 1. Of course, a lot of people are always pushing for season 2, and the only way to do it is for us to actually watch it on Netflix, on Paramount Plus, pretty much anywhere. What do we hope to see in the future seasons for Fairly Oddparents as we hope it gets season 2?
What I hope, now, this is a big if season 2 does get renewed, what I hope to see from it is, of course, I mentioned how Jasmine and Wynn need to have more prominent roles in the show, especially having their own Jasmine-centric or Wynn-centric episodes. I want to see that. I want to see more character development from them. I also want to see more character development between Hazel and Anthony, because Anthony does come back in the season 1 finale.
I wouldn't expect... Oh, he does come back in the finale. Okay.
He comes back in the finale, yes.
How about... I could see, I would expect, more episodes to say... I could just be what the Loud House done with Lori, for example, but before she moved back with the Louds. It could be something like that, where like Lori has like her episodes here and there. So like maybe Anthony will do the same thing. Like have some episodes where Hazel comes to visit him in college to say.
And of course, more explorations with a fairy world, because I
would imagine there'll be more fairies. I think there are more fairies that are up there that just never got referenced in the first season.
Yeah, like where's the Tooth Fairy? Where are the pixies?
Yeah. What happened to them? Like there are a bunch of other ones, like the little elf fairy one. I remember him like getting dragged around by Jorgen von Strangle.
Binky. It was
Binky. Yeah.
Where was Binky? Because Binky was low-key Jorgen's best friend.
Also, Wandissimo too. We need to talk about him. I want to imagine he probably would be in Fairy World too. Maybe a little bit more of like references to some fairies out there. Maybe new fairies could also pop up as well. That'd be really nice.
Especially when if at one point Wandissimo encounters Dev, Wandissimo be like, you remind me of a certain fairy god kid I used to have.
Again, the memory thing is going to be mixed up with me when it comes to it. Yes.
And also, more appearances from Mr. and Mrs. Turner.
You think they actually might come back? I don't know about that.
In some way, shape, or form.
I don't know.
Like have it be old and stuff.
Maybe they'll just come out of nowhere, because remember, they are in Dimsdale. Mm-hmm. And I also did notice there are some references to Dimsdale in Dimmadelphia. So,
but there's an off chance that Hazel could be in Dimsdale at one point, whether it be through convenience or trip or whatever.
Yeah, it could be like a field trip to Dimsdale just to go see the Dome.
Or Dinkelberg.
There is actually a Dinkelberg. Did you actually see that one episode?
Which episode?
Did they, I think it was in the mid-season finale, the mid-season episode where like they had like directions going to Dimsdale, Dinkelberg. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah,
it's something It's something I didn't look at closely, but it is a nice detail.
Yeah,
nice
they did put that in there. I did see Dinkelberg somewhere, but of course it's not the main character. It's not the character or anything like that.
Yeah. So
I would be funny. It would actually get to see Timmy Turner's dad and Dinkelberg just come out of nowhere, just like randomly like meet up. Oh, hi, nice to see you again. Then he comes out, go Dinkelberg.
Yo,
it has to be a reference. It's because it's a meme now.
Every one of us that'll be watching will be applauding and cheering.
Of course, it's a meme. Everyone loves it because it's a meme and all. Maybe a couple more characters being referenced. Maybe we can get to see Trixie Tang. What happened to her? Maybe she's a fashion model somewhere in Dimmadelphia.
Or social media influencer.
I would imagine she would be like a celebrity now after all of this.
AJ being a baseball player. Chester being a baseball player.
Chester being a baseball player. Elmer, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm pretty sure his Boyle's going to be there as well. And
will the Boyle talk? Because the Boyle did talk.
It would be funny if we get to see Remy talk to Dale. Oh, no, not Dale. Dev, yeah.
Yeah, Remy could talk to Dev and be like, listen, kid, I've been there before, and let me tell you, hope is there for you.
Yeah, because pretty much Remy's life is the same as Dev's life at the moment.
It is.
Any other characters that can also be in this show? I don't know. That's all I can think of right now, because if anything, I think there's going to be more references for Fairly Oddparents fans, old and new. So if anything, if they do have a second season, I just really hope that we get some old references for Fairly Oddparents fans. Yeah. Maybe that I really hope they get that Dinkelberg meme. Get to see Timmy Turner's dad out of nowhere just go Dinkelberg. or maybe some other random person just comes out of nowhere. Maybe Hazel might say Dinkelberg, because it may be Dinkelberg's son. Who knows? Come out of nowhere and say like Dinkelberg or something like that.
Or what about Tat and Chad?
Those two guys. I don't think they're as relevant compared to Trixie Tang.
Oh no, we forgot to mention one character, Tootie.
Oh yeah, Tootie definitely got to be something
because
huge.
Keep in mind, even Vicky had a prominent role. But what about her sister Tootie? What's she up to these days?
I really hope it's not with that Timmy Turner character person in Fairly Oddparents You Wish. I hope he hasn't married her or that guy.
She might, because you know how Tootie is for Timmy.
I get it. I think the end game was supposed to be Tootie and Timmy together, right?
It always was meant to be Tootie and Timmy.
Yeah, so now I'm kind of thinking if that character that was in Fairly Oddparents You Wish is Timmy Turner, I just really hope it's not Tootie that marries him or something like that. I think Tootie's too precious to actually be as miserable as that character in the Fairly Oddparents You Wish.
Tootie deserves the world, and it goes back to what I was saying of how I hope that version of Timmy isn't the actual Timmy.
And also, I would imagine Vicky, since Vicky was also in first season, there could be a reunion between Vicky and Tootie. You know,
a little sibling sisterly rivalry. I want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing too about Vicky, did she even age? She feels like she's a woman, but like she's still the same character design and all.
You could low-key see the wrinkles in the bottom of her eyes.
Whatever, but she still looks the same. And I'm like, what difference do you have?
She looks slightly older, but her character design is relatively the same.
Yeah. Well, there's much of a difference between Vicky of New Wish versus Vicky the teenager.
Yeah.
Really much. But yeah, I mean, if anything, I think everyone agrees with me here. Everybody wants the second season of Fairly Oddparents New Wish, but the only way we can do it is watching it on Netflix, watching it on Paramount Plus, like continue to praise the heck out of the show, and then who knows, maybe Nickelodeon can think of something and actually bring out the next season of Fairly Oddparents New Wish. I know that Nickelodeon currently has a lot of things in their lineup, including a new season of Rock Paper Scissors and the new show Wild Pack coming out in June. So I'm just saying, like, there could be a timeline for Fairly Oddparents New Wish to come out. We just can't wait for that announcement. Hopefully they announce it,
Exactly. And it's really up to us to make sure that we watch and support this, because it's sort of like the Fairly Oddparents is sort of hanging in the fence there.
Like, I want it to continue. I know everybody else wants it to continue. So the only way you can do it is to actually have support for it. So yeah.
Unlike Fairly Odder, this is a Fairly Oddparents series that deserves to live on. It's of actual quality.
Indeed. And then another thing too, Nickelodeon, come on, do better with your shows than SpongeBob. I mean, we're waiting for that new Loud House season. What is wrong with you all? What is wrong with you all? We need those new episodes, man.
Exactly. Nickelodeon, there's a thing called variety. Learn it. Learn from Disney Channel.
I'm tired of watching Loud House on Teen Nick, okay?
You were more than just SpongeBob and Loud House, okay? Nickelodeon, there was a time where you had variety.
I mean, they did say they had variety. They just had a new season of Rock, Paper, Scissors. So...
No, but that's just a small step in the right direction. They need to put out more.
Yes, I know. And hopefully Fairly Oddparents is the next show to come up here.
Yeah. Fairly Oddparents New Wish, new season, hopefully. Wild Pack is another small step in the right direction.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's baby steps at this point.
I'm really hoping it gets good. Anything else you want to bring up before we close the episode tonight?
All I gotta say is congratulations to Fairly Oddparents New Wish for winning the championship. Here's your reward. An episode dedicated to you.
It definitely is a great show. We love the Fairly Oddparents New Wish. It definitely deserves the best show of 2024. I can't wait to do it again in 2025 and see what's the next best cartoon coming up. But if anything, it's a great, fun way to talk about Fairly Oddparents New Wish. It definitely deserves its praises. Yes. And who knows? We can't wait for a second season whenever it comes out.
Yeah, so we got to keep our eyes peeled. We got to keep our hopes high. Yeah,
for sure. All right. And I think that's pretty much it for our episode here. We'll be back next Wednesday for an all-new episode of the Anination Podcast. This is quite a long one, but to be fair...
Next Thursday.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Thursday, because this guy has something going on Wednesday.
Yeah. But next Thursday, I do promise you all, Thursday...
Just a reminder for everybody who's watching right now, we are not going to be coming live on Wednesday next week. It'll be Thursday next week, so just a heads up. Thursday next week, we'll put some reminders out there on our socials, on our YouTube, on our Twitter, all of our Instagram, and everything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for our episode here. If you like our episode, make sure you follow us on YouTube by hitting the liking our video, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and also hitting the notification bell so you're notified when it'll be coming out next. We usually come on live every Wednesday, but next week we're coming out on Thursday because Omid has some obligation to go through. And then also, if you guys love our content, we always post on our social media sites on Twitter, Instagram, and also on our YouTube as well. So make sure you guys follow us there.
Yes, so we want to say thank you all so much for listening to us. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to us praise the hell out of the show, to give it the praise it deserves. And yeah, we couldn't have done this without y'all.
Yep, and that's pretty much it for us here. Thank you very much for joining us here. We'll be back next Thursday for a new episode, all right?
So tune in next time.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good day.
Again, I need to continue watching it. Again, Paramount Plus is like, I don't have Paramount Plus anymore, so I don't know.
You may be late to the party when it comes to the second half, but at least you got some experience.
I got some experience. Look, Nickelodeon's putting clips on YouTube, so I'm getting spoiled that way, you know? All right, anyways, bye, guys. See you later.
See y'all later.